Welcome to Your Life in Film. I'm your host, Ted Bennett. Joining me this week, Tim Willrich. Tim is a UK-based producer dedicated to bold, distinctive, and genre-driven storytelling, with a background rooted in fucking hell. First day using this mouth. With a background rooted in independent cinema, Tim has built a reputation for nurturing projects that combine strong creative vision with commercial appeal. In 2025, Tim and his production company Limbo Produce produced action horror For the Good of the Herd in association with Screen Anthology, as well as World War II action drama The Ghost and the Gun, a feature film filmed in Bali. Very nice. At the heart of Tim's work is a deep commitment to supporting original voices and cultivating genre films that surprise and engage audiences. He continues to champion projects that blur the line between independent spirit and global reach, with a vision to bring daring news stories to the screens worldwide. This is the first time I've ever spoken to Tim, but we got on quite well. I think we shared a lot of similar stuff. So enjoy. We jump straight into it. No fluff. Straight in. Enjoy.
Again, you can't say I just got off a call this morning and that we're talking about this and they're like, well, we have to be paid for our time and our work, and I'm all for that, and I love that the mentality, but equally I love what I do. I don't want to if I can make films with at a lower tier. I mean, even kind of go sub $5 million, you can squeeze films into that and then make money off of it and keep on doing that. I mean, ultimately that's what I'm on my kind of I guess conveyor belt is made to do is kind of do films at a lower price point where everything's not lavish and easy, and you haven't got all the crew members you need, but you've got enough if everyone just rolls their sleeves up and grafts a bit. Yeah, myself included. So I don't.
I don't care what you think your title is. It's like if the film it's the greater good. Yeah, we got to get this film made, and I don't care. As the director, I'll get up and be like, "What do we need to do? Tack some nails in." I'll tack some nails in. I don't care. I'm a qualified builder, so I'll happily just jump on and build sets because it's no, fuck it. This needs to get done. I don't care.
Yeah,
and I've worked with some people who sat to the side because they're like, well, it's not my job to do it, and it's it's your job to make sure that this fucking works.
Yeah, that I mean, the mentality in it is very interesting. Kind of working on different sets. I mean, I guess one of the reasons why I got so. I mean, that's why I wanted to be a producer is is that mentality that you set at the top, and you can step onto a set and you can literally sense it what it's like, and if it is you've got people at the side sitting like that, being militant, it's that's not my job, that's your job. Or I'm art, I'm lighting, I'm camera, we do our bit.
Yeah,
everyone else get fucked. If you're there, exactly doing it, if you're there, kind of banging some nails in, and the last one I did, all me and the EPs were kind of still if camera kit needed to come downstairs, and we around this big fucking building that we were in for a month. We'd be helping bring stuff in. be doing anyone needed any help. We'd all kind of muck in, and as soon as you have that atmosphere, everyone starts kind of doing the same thing, and then it's okay. Well, it's not militant, and no one's getting blamed for anything, and it's not. It is all for one for all, and it sounds kind of cheesy, but. And I say at the top of every production, and everyone's always like, "Yeah, all right, mate, sure." But then they get into it, and you go, "Okay, actually, you are at least trying to practice what you preach," which does make a difference.
The one I always say at the top of my productions is, if this all goes horribly wrong, it's my fault.
Yeah.
Right. If it all goes really well, it's the group effort.
Yeah.
I'm not here to steal anyone's thunder. If someone says that was really good, I'd be like, that was this guy, and he's the clapperboard guy. He came up with that idea. Hire him for your ideas next. I'm all about just getting everyone up. Let's just get everyone as high as we can.
Yeah, and that's the way it should be. Not just kind of clambering on people's backs to kind of get up the ladder and stuff. And and again, if everyone feels appreciated, and the difference in it is even just it's just the extra half an hour of grace that you get, because we're not quite finishing on time. Does everyone mind going half an hour over? And everyone's like, yeah, cool, no worries.
Yeah, don't worry about it. It's not going to be half an hour of misery. It's going to be half an hour of getting it done.
Well, yeah, and everyone sees it, and they see that and everyone just buys in and cares rather than just and that's the thing is, like, if you just check out and you're there just solely for like it's and again you see that as like it almost the light in people's eyes just go extinguishing up. It's just a job now. It's just a job. I don't really care. Like I'll do it. I'll get paid. Fine.
One of the first jobs I did an EPK back in about 2014 for a BFI funded short film. It was for one of their like the BFI Shorts festival that they do.
Yeah.
It was for one of those films. And I was working with a load of sort of grips and guys like that. And not one of them wanted to be there. And to me, it was like, this is the dream factory. Like, you're working on movies. They're like, oh, just a short film, though. I'm like, you're making a short film. Like, I don't care who you are. This is fun. And you could see, like, there was no love anymore. And I was like, why are you doing it? Go fuck off, be a Sparky somewhere. Go do something else. Yeah. Like, there are so many people who would love the job. And I'd rather have someone who loved it. And they may not be as timed in, but they love it.
I mean, so you get on bigger stuff, and like it is very much. I mean, obviously the kind of the allure and the kind of the stardust kind of starts like kind of falling away for a lot of people, even if they had it before. Because like sometimes some people, honestly, it is just a well paid job. Like if you're in doing like the studios doing like big films and you're lighting camera and everything, then it's just you're doing a well paid job, and some of them sure might be like I love what I do, but like a lot of them just like don't care. Like I could be they'd approach kind of doing anything else the same way. It's just that this was well paid and they get to kind of sit around and chill out for like parts of the day, and they're laughing. So it's a funny one, but like, and the bigger the sets get, the more of those people you find, which again you can't fault it, like each to their own, but like I'm always like there, like even now
we're making films.
Great. Yeah.
Well, the most recent script we're working on, which is it's a version of the short film, but it's not like a verbatim like 90-minute version of our short film. But I went in with the thing to my like co-writer. I was like, one actor, one farmhouse. My friend's old farmhouse that his parents, like his grandparents, live in is currently empty. So we have the location and one actor. And he was like, one actor. I was like, this is my idea. Like, what can we do with that? And then whenever he's like, if we could get a second, I'm like, why do we need the second? And like, I'm letting them get like, okay, we can have a second if this can do like this. And maybe we could have someone on the phone so we could ADR that in. And they were like, okay. And I'm like, I just got to keep this as low as I can. Yeah. And then if you come in with an idea that I'm like, yes, that can be fractionally more and we can get another person in and we might be able to do half a day in another location, that's fine. That's almost negligible in my mind. And then we just sort of build it. I'm like, that's how I'm going to have to do it now, because given that carte blanche to be, like you said, just write the story. And then it's like, no, that's not going to work. We bring it in. It's like, let's just get it as tight as we can. You can have this rock. That's all you can have.
But then the nuts thing is like, even if you're like, right, I can do this for like 200K or whatever, like, and like even that's harder to like I mean, I'm sure you've had this. You go around the circle, like it's like, well, everyone's like, well, that's too low. Like what like then it's like it can't be done.
Why is that so cheap?
Yeah,
it's like because realistically, that's all it actually costs. Yeah. Like, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, but it's selling, and then like distribution won't give you any numbers because like, well, that just sounds like a 200 grand short. Like, feature won't fly and blah blah blah, and it's like and everyone's so cagey about everything now. So it's then you get people that are like, oh, you've got to put up to like 2 million, otherwise people won't be interested. And then you have the whole thing of like, well, they need the cast. You need like a named cast to kind of quantify that. Then you're like, and then it's a case of, and again, I've had this where like as a first time director, you're like, well, it's too high for a first time director. We can't possibly do that for that. And you end up in this kind of cycle. It's like, well, so I can't do it this budget. I can't do it that budget. Well, anything in between is kind of like one or the other as well, or both. So it just ends up being like, well, what are you supposed to do here, guys? It's like, I get inherently frustrated about what you as a director. It's like, it's hard.
That is the bit that that's probably my biggest issue with that the industry in that part, is that it's like, I'm not allowed to make it for nothing. and I'm not allowed the money to make it for anything more than that. So what do you want me to do? It's like, we want you just to make whatever you want to make. And it's like, but I need the money. And they're like, well, what could you do with no money? No. You've told me no money isn't available to me.
Yeah.
So if no money is available to me and money is not available to me, where do you need me? It's like, can you just go and make it? And I'm like, make what?
Yeah.
What do you want me to make? Like, and it's the same thing of, what actors have you got on board before we give you any financing? We haven't got any actors on board. Well, then we can't give you financing. Yeah, but the actors won't come on board until there's any financing.
Well, yeah,
and they're like, right.
It's always chicken and egg, and then you're trying to get...
Go be friends with Leonardo DiCaprio and see if he'll do it for free. Shut up.
Yeah, great idea. Yeah. Well, and even that's the thing as well. Is like, even if you go out to actors. I mean, literally, we had... I've put out paid offers for big actors that make a difference, and money's there. The offers in, so we're offering them a set amount for for a feature part for 7 days of working on set for a chunk of change, like a big chunk of change.
Yeah.
And they're still like, not enough, or like, who's the director? And that's the other thing as well, is like the agents who are the kind of obviously safeguards. Like if you, because you're not going to kind of pull them in on get them excited about your idea and whether it's good for their because they're looking at their 10% as well. So if you're like, well, it's not going to be much money, but it'd be great. And they're like, who have you done a film before? Like, and so you don't get to the kind of the good actors. So I mean, yeah, it's just inherently every way round, it's just a bit screwy. Like, and unless you can get some equity in the film yourself, like, and then maybe you kind of lure some private equity into it, because they're like, okay, well, you're betting on yourself now, like, you've got skin in the game, and okay, I'll put if you can put 20 grand in, maybe I'll put 20 grand, and then you're like, okay, we're off to the races now. But yeah, it's hard, man. However you matrix it, it's hard.
So whereabouts are you in the UK? I assume you're UK.
Yeah. New Forest, so down on the south coast.
Oh, nice.
So yeah, middle of nowhere. Actually, how about yourself?
So I'm Shropshire, up Midlands way.
Okay, nice. So I lived in Banbury in Oxfordshire for 10 years.
Oh yeah, no, yeah, it's about
you're
a couple of hours
west of that, right?
West of that, so we'd be we're about an hour from Birmingham.
Okay, yeah.
More into Wales. Like, I think we border Wales as a town, but I'm not from the Midlands, hence the accent. I'm from London, but it was second lockdown. I couldn't face living in Tottenham anymore, and I was like, I gotta get out of here. And then realized, if we move to Shropshire, we can buy a house and I can focus on film again. It's like, well, let's just do that,
which is a dream.
So yeah.
How have you found it? So I obviously speak from experience, because a bit about being. So I've never been a Londoner. How have you found it in terms of just, I guess you have your clan and your people that are doing it, but I think it's inherently harder to do
it is
outside of London than it is anywhere else.
It is. It's a bit like we were saying, the duality of funding and actors and funding and whatever. It's if I lived in London, I probably couldn't afford to do this. But in London, there's the ability to make connections, go to screenings, have meetings, and see people a lot easier. And I think that then comes down to being the right person, the right type of person. Like with my film, when I went off to the States, I was a solo traveler, and I went to Wisconsin, LA, New York, Austin, and somewhere else, North Carolina. And I would just have to turn up and make the most of every conversation and just see, what can I do here? What can happen? These connections, do I like these people? Can I make these into stronger bonds? And then keeping on touching base with these people and just sort of reinforcing those connections. And I guess you just have to be a bit more, as you know, selective about your sort of network, because if I lived in London still, I would be going to loads of places. I'd be going to screenings. I'd be still doing all those normal things. And you'd have to filter a lot. You filter out all the people that you're like, oh, you're a bit of a tourist, or you're you like to say you do things, and that's cool. Like, if you want to say that you're a filmmaker and never actually do anything, that's your business. I don't care. Like, yeah, but like, there's the people that are actually grafting. They're the people that are always working, the people that are always doing, or just the way that they talk about film. That it's like, oh, you like filmmaking. You care about that as a craft. You don't just like Nolan films, and there's no shot on that. It's just like a very different. You care about filmmaking.
Yeah.
So being out of that like system, it is very specific, and I've kind of tuned my ear now that if I start speaking to someone and I pick up very quickly, I'm like, oh, you're good. You're a good person to talk to about this because you get it. So it's harder, but I think if the option is live in London and have to wade through a lot of it, or live out of London and just be a lot better at like focusing in, I'd rather this one.
Yeah, I think it's just kind of quality of life, work life, and generally being happier rather than being like kind of like having to concentrate on like obviously kind of making ends meet every month, or maybe a little bit more. I mean, so like I don't know. I never know what the best option is, but I'm from the countryside. I'm a country bumpkin, so I love London, but I love leaving it. Like that's
like since leaving London, I've been back maybe like 3 or 4 times, like not that many times. And treating London as a tourist is so much nicer.
Yeah.
Like you can enjoy it. I'm like, I'm going to go to the Prince Charles, watch a film, and then go to a lovely after party, and then go back to my hotel.
Yeah.
And this is lovely. Like it's not like
even doing that for you, Tom, is still cheaper. It's 2 hours on the train for me. Or like, I still spend it invariably. I spend a lot of time there for working or whatever, and like like in person meetings. Obviously, like to do where possible. But then the fact of it, because it does take 2 hours on a train, like it's like the intent is always like, well, I'm not going to go in for like any old meeting. I want to make it either want to make it like a day of meetings and then cultivate like at least 2 or 3 things to warrant it, or make sure I'm not just going to go and have like a one-off chat with someone I vaguely spoke to once. Like I'll always do it like a Zoom first, and then I'm like, actually there's a good vibes here, so I'll then happy to kind of like make the schlep. But it's very.
And I always end up sort of seeing, like, I've got a lot of theatre actor friends. So like my friend Stevenson, who was in our short film, he is currently Alexander Hamilton on the West End.
Amazing.
And I know it's fucking sick, but he was also Simba like for a while, and then like the Lion King. So whenever I would sort of pop in, I'd be like, what are you working on? It's like, you're at the Globe. All right, I'll come to the Globe.
Yeah.
And it's like, I wouldn't normally go to the Globe, but I'll come and watch you in this play because it'll be lovely. Like, and it's not living in London means I go to the theatre more. Like, because it's like, oh, I'll go see a friend in a play. That'll be nice. I can't afford that when I live in London, but as I'm not, I can afford to go do it.
Oh, well, yeah. I think it's because I think it's always things when they're on your doorstep, you're always like, oh, I can tomorrow.
Yeah.
And when you're not, you're like, okay, well now I'm at like making an active effort. Like,
this exhibit is only on for 2 weeks. I'll make sure I go and see it, like, because otherwise. 3 years will pass, and I'll be like, "That exhibit's still on? No? Okay.
There's another thing that I really want to see, and then the whole thing over again. Yeah, it definitely it's a different mentality. Not living in there, but it makes. It makes a lot of things definitely harder as well. I mean, the kind of the community thing, I think, which is obviously invariably a lot of it's in London. Say that I try and I think it's always an interesting question, because obviously there is plenty of us that don't live in London that absolutely love what we do and what want to do it, are doing it, and it's just when I started doing it, literally I didn't know anyone in London or here like that do it, so you have to. It can be either like knowing where to start and having any no contacts or context at all is kind of it's a tricky one. So it's
well, I was really lucky because I went to uni a bit later. I say a bit later, like 25 or something. And in our first year, producer called Angelique Talliot said, I need someone to shoot a behind the scenes for our short film. Do you have anyone at your university? Like, so my lecturer sort of said, like, yeah, I know someone, but I'm gonna have to put it to the whole class. And he sort of said to me, like, you should apply. You do it, do it, do it, do it. And that was the first year I worked with Angelique, and then I did a couple more shorts with her, like as the behind the scenes. And for the first stage of my career, it was just those people. That's for the first 2 or 3 years, I just had to work with these guys because there was no other, work around it. And then I became a film journalist, which then meant I was able to like get in again with a different crowd. And there's people that I still sort of like touch base with every now and then, to sort of be like, hey, what's going on? You know, have you got anything going? But it's amazing that for so long that like my community was so small, but I still got so much from it. So it really is like you could be best mates with, someone doing film properly, but they might not be the kind of person that gets you in, So it really is about picking the right community, and
it's quality, not quantity, as well. Yeah,
100%.
for sure. I mean, yeah, and so like, I mean, that's definitely having a small circle of just really good people, and just trying to all like kind of trying to bring each other up together. I mean, that's the kind of always the dream of it. It's like, yeah, if you and your kind of people that like your close friends or in your close circle can kind of like build up together and all like get there, and so you're all that kind of like the kind of the swanky award ceremonies or whatever, all together, then that's kind of like, that's the dream. Like, if you're there with just kind of people you can't stand, I can't imagine that's that's much fun. So
I think I met similar people on the circuit when I was over there in the States doing the tour for mine, and it was interesting how on the first day there's this excitement. Hey, God, we're all making movies. And then on like one of the last days, seeing them and being like in another city, in another state, seeing them again and being like, you right? Because it's like, I did not like you. You had the wrong energy and I don't care for this. But like, it's amazing how if you'd said that at the beginning, I'd be like, no, everyone. I want to talk to everyone. And it's like, you pick them up quickly.
Yeah. Oh, but, yeah. I mean, it's kind of like, well, like filmmaker bingo, isn't it? Like some things that, and again, it is that thing of like you. Obviously, they're like you have to kind of have a like, I guess, a facade to it to a certain point, like a bit like business face on, but like I always feel like if you can get into the kind of like past all the bullshit of like, we've got someone, like, even when talking about actors, like, we've got this person reading this, everyone's kind of just like fanning the flames of their project, and like how kind of like moving forward it is, how much momentum it's got. And like, rather than just talk the brass tacks of it, let's like, this is hard, and like, we've had 7 people turn us down. It's taken 6 months to get this far. Like,
if we were all honest,
10 grand on my credit card now, like,
they'd be like, only 10. Fucking hell, fair play.
The producer that's attached to it's a dickhead. Like, there's and I value those conversations a lot more, because like, that's the trouble. Is like, is it even because even you can just hear in what people say is like, again, the more older and grislier I get, like, you kind of hear the things that they say, and they're all stuff that I've said at one point or another. Because so that's why you always spot it. You always, because you're all saying the same shit to make it sound more interesting or impressive, or like, having more momentum than it actually does. Even just selling yourself, and like how you sell yourself, like what your bio is, like, that's interesting.
Oh, God,
right. It always makes me laugh with the award-winning filmmaker kind of thing. I was like, and literally, I think 9 out of 10 people start with that, and it's it's great that you've won an award, but like award-winning doesn't mean anything anymore, because everyone's an award-winning.
So, like, I won't say to people like you, industry people, I will say like, hey, I've done a short film, it's won a load of awards, and I'll be really flippant about it. I will just be like, it's won a load of awards, like, which to other, like, to filmmakers, they're like, okay, so it got into some places, it's done a circuit, that's it. When other people sort of be like, he's a multi-award winning, I'm like, let's not. like because you've never heard of any of them.
Yeah,
So
that's always thing because I get. I mean, and it is, when it's validation, and it's something I'm saying. Like I can do what I'm saying I can do. I can do it. I can do it. I've done this thing, and I can. I told everyone I could do it, and I can do it. And someone else is about you.
But until I've got a BAFTA on the shelf,
that's not. Yeah, but that's what I mean, and that's because like because some, I mean, especially some of them when it's like. It's your nan's like international film festival in a back garden in like out of Mongolia or something. It's like, well, that's sure, that's great that you got an award, but like, is it and until it is like a biggie, then there is. I guess like you said, it's kind of like knowing who you're talking to, and it is a nice thing to have, and it's a nice thing, and everyone should be proud of any acclaim that they get, because it's it's not easy with any of this shit. So it's I'm not poo-pooing it, but it's just that thing.
Let me show you my favorite award I've won. 1 second. This is a toaster.
Oh, I love that. That's great.
Spray painted gold, and this is one of my favorite awards I've won.
Yeah, I'm here for that.
That was that's on the shelf. Like I've got like a couple up there that I like. They're like, oh yeah, these are nice ones that are actually the awards body put some money into it. So I was like, oh, they're nice.
Yeah.
But then that just gold spray painted toaster, I was like, chef's kiss.
Yeah.
That's my absolute favorite.
That's stuff like that. That's cool. And again, like I say, I'm not kind of just because like some of it's just, I guess, that thing where like, because I used to do it. We used to because when I first started winning things for shorts and stuff, it was like the pride that you have, and like and just having that kind of the people.
I wasn't an award-winning filmmaker, and now I am.
Yeah, it is a thing, but it's okay. It's just one of those I think it's just like a thing of the way people sell themselves, and I guess you're trying to kind of puff out your chest as much as you can, and like that those things always. Because like everyone says, I always feel like, okay, well, you may as well just put I am a writer director, or a director, or a producer, or an actress, actor, whatever. It just those kind of those words me I feel anyway. I mean, other people may disagree.
No, I think it is one of those that if you're in the industry, there are certain buzzwords that you hear. Like my one is always like. When we pulled in a load of favors, in my head, it's like, then you don't know how to budget a film. Like, and it's, to me, that's really worrying when they're like, we made it for like $1,000. We pulled in all the favors. I'm like, I wouldn't want to work on your film because that sounds chaotic. Like, I want a fucking spreadsheet, mate.
Yeah.
I want it right.
But I mean, that's always, I mean, again, I think that's always a litmus. I mean, ultimately, that's why I started, like, I got, so did my like directed a couple of shorts initially because that was the original kind of pipe dream, but then far like I enjoyed all of the kind of ultimately the producing job, and also was not a very good director, and don't write, so it was like there was always going to be a hard graft for that, especially in this day and age, but so that's why I got, because there is a distinct lack of people that want to do the producing and the spreadsheets and stuff, and like do all the boring stuff and talk about the logistics and say no and do all that. And
give me a Trello board and let me fucking populate it.
Yeah. That's just
love it.
Just get everything on paper and everything, so everyone can see stuff and organize the shit out of everything. And it's like and that's definitely is not That
is one of my biggest worries, is that deep down I know I'm probably a better producer than I am a director, but I really don't want to give up being a director.
No, I think, I mean, like nor should you. I mean, that's the trouble, is like you're I mean, I assume you like, I think, and I think, to be fair, like, for shorts and stuff, a lot of people are a producer,
director producer,
they have to, like, just there's like, and even if you do have, I mean, that's that, if you do have other people that are producers, it's like what if they genuinely want to be producers, or it's a case if they like the title and they like the idea of being kind of the big boss, big guy or gal on set, and and but then all the graft and all the kind of the things and all the things they have to think about, and ultimately then they're just ultimately like a dead weight on the side of your production that kind of voices opinions every now and again. And then you're doing all the graft and all the work and all the real stuff because there's no one else to do it. Your production department is non-existent on a show normally.
But I imagine that, like, even if you're a gun for hire on a film, like as a director, I wouldn't sign on to something. Maybe I would. Maybe I would do an episode of Hollyoaks. But like I'm not a gun for hire in that sense that, like, if someone come up to me, like I've had scripts put towards me and I've just been like, not for me, but great, work on it. Like, keep going. Like, I might have someone who I can get you in contact with. And if I didn't care, I wouldn't want to work on it. So if I do care, then the idea of being a producer makes sense, because it's like, no, I want to put this together. This story wants to get put together. And I know a person who'd be great for doing this, and I know someone who'd be great to create that, and she can do this, and this would be perfect. And it's putting that team together to create a piece of art, let's say, or a product. And I always think that, like, if you care, why wouldn't you? Like, if you were the director, why wouldn't you also be a part of the production team? Because I don't know. I guess there are some people who do just want to, wear the fucking riding trousers, the big jacket, and a megaphone, and they just want to be direct there.
Yeah,
and it's like, all right.
I mean, which is, I mean, but then, I mean, they're the ones that if you can't talk to them, or if they can't switch into kind of like, it's a left brain, right brain thing. It's like if they can't, if they're going to just inhabit the kind of the creative side of their brain all the time, and then and they're not going to talk, then they're going to get huffy or argue when you're saying, well, we can't do this because we can't afford the helicopter. And the 3 tigers that you need, and like the kind of the 5 days on a kind of in a water tank or whatever, and they're not thinking about in terms of kind of the overall, and even if you don't want to kind of get like weighed down by all the boring stuff, all the logistics and all the kind of like the financial aspects of it, you still have to have enough respect and understanding of it to be able to go, okay, well, I understand what you're saying and where you're coming from. Because I mean that's a very a litmus test very quickly for directors. If I have ones that go, I don't know anything about that, I don't do numbers or marketing, that's someone else's gig. It's like, it's just like, cool.
No, I'm not.
Then, if that's literally, I mean, my job is obviously to make them kind of stay in as much creative space as possible. But if you're just going to completely ignore the fact of its existence, then we do have a problem.
No, I think you got to have that reality, don't you? You have to have that understanding. And like, if someone says to me, we can't do that, I want my brain to go, then how can we?
Yeah.
Like, I like, that idea's gone then. Cool. I'm not afraid that I only have 5 ideas for the rest of my life. I assume I'm going to have 5 ideas in the next 20 minutes. Maybe one of them might be worth saying out loud. So let's just like, right, that doesn't work. What does work then? What do we do? Yeah. Like, I don't like, and there's no heroes. If the T-boy, if the catering guy wants to go, what about this? I'm like, right, done. Perfect. That's the way it's done now, because that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I haven't got an ego in that way.
Yeah.
So
but that's the way. I mean, there is like ego, or is a kind of a big ego is just a big red flag as well. Because again, that is that thing, and even if it's kind of like, again, kind of like the facade of any, like, I like this is how directors sound when I hear them. And so and it's kind of like the same as anyone in any position of power. They're like, well, this is how I have to be because I'm the boss. Everyone's looking at me, so I have to be shouting and lambasting people, or being like, no, like it's all my ideas, or everyone else can kind of like swivel. Like it doesn't work like that. And I mean, sure, there's people that have made careers and are like that, and it is totalitarian, but like that is, I mean, you can hear about Stanley Kubrick or David Fincher doing a gabillion takes of
but does a gabillion takes to you not say they don't know what they want? Like if as a director, if my actors haven't figured it out within 2 or 3 takes, I've not explained it correctly, and we should stop for a minute and explain it correctly.
Yeah,
Like, I think the most takes I've ever done is 4.
yeah.
And at the end of it, I
I
was
think
like,
that the
I'm
really
sorry, I've not. Yeah, go on.
no, no, no. I think that's. I mean, really. I mean, again, unless you're being overtly indulgent. Especially in indie films. I can't. I mean, again,
Yeah,
I've had people kind of say when in those kind of like when you're talking to people at like a networking thing and they're like giving it the large one. And being like, oh yeah, well I just have to do that. I just need like the time to do that, all the takes that I need because I have like has to be like what I've got in my mind. It's like, well, that's something. If you think you're going to have enough time for 10 takes on
for every
a like,
fucking take.
then you're deluded. Like,
Yeah.
and that's the thing is like if you cite those stories, it's like I mean Kubrick and Fincher weren't like that on their first film. They're definitely sure, and I think even this like I think it was Gone Girl was there was. Fincher was like, they kind of they were making bets on like how many takes, and it was Ben Affleck just putting some papers on the passenger seat of the car, and like it was like he was kind of looking for them to fall in a certain way. So it was like it's kind of like it's so meticulous in every facet of the frame.
Yeah.
But it's like, okay, cool. Well, yeah, I mean, if you're David Fincher and you can everything's built for you to be able to do that, then okay, fine. But like if people kind of believing that the way that he works or the way that any of your heroes work that you kind of aspire to be like they weren't doing that on their first film or their second, but probably not their fifth film. Like it's
No.
it's kind of
It was when the studio started fluffing them a bit too hard, and they were
yeah,
like, "Oh, I can get away with some real bullshit." And it's
yeah.
like, yeah, but don't get rid of it. Don't get away with bullshit.
Yeah, like well, there's not. I mean, and again, that's what that's what frustrates me about the bigger films is they bleed so much money. I mean, like they bleed through like money that you could make a small film on a day.
Oh,
And just if it like
pisses me off.
it's indulgent it gets to, and that's the way where we've got to with this kind of the kind of the tent poles now and like how obscenely expensive they are.
Well, it seems you can only make a film for 100 million or 1 million.
Yeah.
Like, and I'm not saying I'm over here trying to make 20 million films, but it's like there's the amount of 90s thrillers on this shelf,
and they were all
which were made
great.
10 million and they were fucking sick.
Yeah.
Like, where the hell are they? Where's the tight 90, 90, like 20 million film that is perfect? Where are they?
Yeah, I mean that's just was just what streaming's done, isn't it? Just where you could have like something could just make all of its money on VHS or DVD and Blu-ray, and that like they're just obviously that's just eviscerated overnight, and it's just had this course correction. Now I think we're getting there in terms of like the kind of the through flow of kind of films per year. I mean that's why obviously the box office and theatricals better this year. But obviously the starting point of it, everyone's kind of getting used to this new way now, this new machine that has been built with kind of streaming and theatrical, and kind of trying to figure out what does well. And and I think it is coming back around to kind of like there is a middle ground for like kind of smaller kind of like what used to be kind of the indie film or like the mid-tier film again.
Yeah.
Because everyone's just getting sick of like the Avengers and Fast and Furious and. There needs to be some more IP. It's just, there's how it was in the 70s where kind of there was more people coming through and like interesting new ideas, and I feel like we're starting to get to.
My hope is always that because it's the 70s then the 90s where it was just the independents were like completely running it, and I was like, let's get back to that. And I think the YouTubers are going to be what is considered the independents this time around.
Yeah. I mean, say that, because they've been building their audience in a different way, and I think the other thing is like where like the statistics with like the Gen Z is they're the ones that are going to the cinema the most now. But it's like again, I was one of the Todd Garner, who's one of he's a producer in the States. I mean, he did Mortal Kombat. He did like a lot of Adam Sandler films. He used to like run the studio in Disney. So I listen to his podcast a lot, which is a great one about a producer's network, producer's guide. Sorry. Just the way and he was talking because ultimately like when he was a studio head when he was in like his early 30s, and that's the trouble. Like all the studio heads now, which is a valid point. All the people involved, are all like in their 60s, 70s, and
Yeah.
and like a lot of the films still have been skewed towards kind of the age brackets and their taste, and them being kind of the older generation. So like the whole it's like, well, all the younger generations, oh, this is not what we want to watch. Like, get fucked, we want to watch, we want to watch what we want to watch. And that's the difference between like when it was like younger studio heads. I mean, I'm going to get the other side of it. Like if you're a studio head and you fucking love your job, then you're going to go, oh, okay, well, I've had my time now. See you later. I mean, if I was a head of Disney, or or like or Paramount or Warner Brothers or something, like as a studio exec, I want to be here forever. Like, so
try getting rid of me.
Yeah, and that is the other side of it. So everyone works a lot longer now anyway. And that's the thing is like and I understand again. I've had that kind of frustration myself. Is like there's no room for me, or like how can I exist in this thing, and like how dare these people not like give us opportunities? But it just means that them or their mates are out of their job, and it's like, well, what's our right to be able to say that? Like, you have to go, well, it's my turn on the rope swing now. Like, it's not that.
Well, it does. Yeah, that's our turn on the rope swing is a fair one there. Like when people sort of say things like, "Oh, like the gatekeepers of Hollywood," and it's like, "Oh, no. Like, they're not gatekeepers, but as you work with a group of people that you work well with, and I work with a group of people that I know I work well with. If someone new comes in and I've not worked with them and no one else vouches for them, I'm going to want to see proof that it works.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to take that risk. So it's kind of like, oh, I get it. I get why,
I mean, that's why. It is very into, and exactly that. It's like we have enough headaches as it is, like day on day. It's like if you have people that you trust and you know how they work, they're known entities. Even if if they're not, they don't have to be perfect, but you know where their shortcomings are, and but they ultimately they do a good job. They're a good. They work well with this team, and like I do obviously like to try and you try new people and just not have exactly the same people. I mean, it doesn't always happen anyway. The fact you can just have film on film have all the same people, but and give people because that's the other thing I do despise. And again, where I found incredibly frustrating when I started was, they're like. Like no one will give you a experience as a PA or something. They won't give you because you haven't got any experience as a feature, so we can't possibly give you experience on a feature. So well, how do I get experience unless someone's going to give me a chance? And to get people their first credit is a that way. I mean, that was a really tricky thing to do because no one's willing to give you the experience unless you've already had the experience, which is like a crazy way to look at it. So very much kind of always try and blood some new people, give them so they do get the, even if not always great, but they get the experience and they kind of learn from it. But equally, been very lucky most of the time. It's been completely the opposite as well. I've had people and it's their first film and they've just been incredibly assets to the film. They do anything and everything and just beautiful people as well, which is amazing. And so you do have to try. There's that end, but known entities in a risky industry, it does make sense. So. Yeah, I understand that. But equally, it's a trouble. It's like you understand both sides of the coin, and it's hard to kind of because I can say to a point that I'll try and kind of work with as many people as I can and involve as many new people as I can. But equally, it comes to a point where I'm like, well, this is inherently risky enough. I can't risk more.
I can't have a dozen of green workers here. I need a couple of veterans
I need someone that that's already before, but that I'm not looking at things over there that have to be done, or someone's already they're like, okay, see that, and they're ahead of me, or I don't have to ask them what to do, which is again you only have so much capacity to do that and manage and tell people what to do, and it's not their fault. You need to be told what to do to understand. Some people less than others. Some people just their initiative kind of catches fire quite quickly. So it's just.
And I'm a firm believer in you learn through failure. So
Yeah,
failures aren't necessarily a bad thing. It's like, as long as you learn why it failed, then it was completely worth it.
yeah,
And like I said, like if someone was on set and they got it wrong, I'd be like, cool, do you know why you got it wrong? Yeah, I do. All right.
yeah. I mean, it just,
There's nothing we can do about it. Like,
yeah.
it
I mean,
happened.
that's it. There's no point shouting and screaming about it. You know, the most of the time is, you know, it's kind of it is that thing of like, if someone, I mean, first and foremost, if someone owns a mistake, that's kind of you know,
Oh yeah.
that's the main thing, and myself included. Like, you know, and you understand what point in the machine that the mistake has been made and how that got made, whether it was a miscommunication, whether someone's just made an error in judgment, or like, you know, assumption or whatever, or just it's just one of those things that just shit happens sometimes.
I mean,
Um,
I even outside of work, like my partner Kirsty once opened the car door and someone drove past and it didn't, like, knocked off their wing mirror. And I came back from the shop and I was like, "What's happened?" She was like, "Oh, this has happened, this is this." And I was like, "Okay." I was like, "Was it our fault?" And she was like, I opened the door, I didn't look." And I was like, "All right, cool." So I went up to the guy, and as soon as I got up there, he was like, "Right, so," and I was like, "Right, before it begins, it was our fault. What do you want to do about it?"
yeah,
Like, I don't care. Like,
mm,
let's just fix it. I'm not here to say, well, you shouldn't have been. I don't care.
yeah,
Like, nothing matters. Like, let's just
yeah.
resolve it and move on with our life.
Yeah, and it's like, you know, like, I mean, it's like just, I mean, being able to accept blame for stuff when it's, I mean, it's how, I mean, it's how you learn as well. It's the trouble when people when there's like, yeah, but, or like whatever, and
Mm,
you're looking, and that's the lens you look at everything through. It's like, yeah, well, yeah, that this happened, but it wasn't my fault because of, you know, that this or the other. It's like, well, then invariably you're not going to learn the
yeah,
lessons, because like if it's
you're
always someone else's
refusing
fault.
to accept. Yeah, and
Yeah,
it's like, I don't want that.
yeah, it
Just
just you're you know, if you can't look at, if you're looking in the mirror and kind of you're saying, well, I never do anything wrong, or like these all these
must be
things.
nice.
Yeah,
Must be nice being so perfect.
I'm sure. Yeah, and any person that's doing that, or thinks like that, is like, there's yeah, it must be nice, but they also have a thousand daggers being stared in the back of their
Yeah,
head. Like,
100%. 100%.
yeah,
Right. Well, it sounds like I need to send you some scripts and we should get some work done.
yeah.
But
No, I was happy to read. I mean, it's like, I can only prompt, like, my reading list is always relatively long, and I'm not the quickest to get there, but I'll always do, and always at the very least promise some vaguely moderate feedback.
perfect. That's all I need. And I'm also, one last little thing about that. All feedback's good feedback.
Absolutely, yeah. Yeah,
Couldn't care less. If you tell me it's a pile of shit for this reason, cool.
yeah, yeah.
Good to know.
Yeah, so say, I think, yeah, constructive feedback
Constructive.
is like, not yeah, saying, yeah, the character's weak is not good feedback. It's like, the character's weak
Mm.
because of this. Yeah, I want to see more of this. Even if, again, everything's subjective, right? So it's like, yeah,
Well, it's that thing. Is it's if someone says, I think it might have been Rob McElhenney said it, where it's like, if someone says this scene doesn't work because of this, don't listen to the because of this bit.
mm,
This scene doesn't work is the only thing that matters. This scene doesn't work. Right.
mm,
Okay. That's it. Right.
yeah,
Okay. I'll work on that.
yeah.
Like, because the other bit is an opinion.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, which yeah. Again, and if the trouble is, obviously, everyone will give you that. You know, anyone who reads it will give you their opinion, and then you're like, you know, you've got 1,000 opinions, and you go back to read rewrite the scene, and you're like, I have no fucking clue what's up from down now.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like, if you
Like,
have everyone's
what am I
like,
doing here?
yeah, you have everyone's
But I
words.
felt that. I felt that with a film I watched recently, where I was watching it and I was like, oh, you've let the 6 production companies all say, I think, and you've gone, okay.
Yeah,
And you didn't think to go, well, that contradicts this one, so we can't have both. So let's not
yeah.
have either.
But that unfortunately is where you get to in the studio system. I mean, that's why they kind of, you know, pick up kind of, like, you know, Colin Trevorrow or Chloe Zhao, like, you know, people that do the indie films, and then they suck them up into
Yeah.
the big kind of, you know, Disney stuff, and then you go like Marvel, and then you go, okay, right, well, and there's like a gabillion producers in the room, which that infuriates me anyway, and they all have they all of them are validating their
Oh,
place at the table by giving kind of subjective opinions, and that's the trouble with all of these. The top end of the films nowadays is like, it's designed by committee, and like that was always the thing. That's why independent films were always so good, was because it's like it's one creative at the center of it, maybe with one or two other kind of people in their ear, and that makes for a much more concise and good film rather than just like like a massive nonsense that and then play.
Well, it's like some of those films, some of the 90s thrillers I've been watching, like 3 producers at most.
Yeah.
And then you put on something new, and there's just sea after sea of like, and there's 6 executive producers, and there's 15 people produced it, and there's 2 associate producers, and you're like, doing what, man?
Yeah.
How have you done any of this?
Fuck all, mostly. It's produced by credits the ones that people have actually done it, and then the rest are just like ones they've had to give up at some point to again, and obviously very producer credits and very obviously have like very strong opinions about who should get them and who shouldn't get them, and even Stephen Follows did a thing about like how many producers on a film has changed over time, and since like the 2010s how much has gone up, and then also just like the quality of the films, have they got better or worse, and nominally, I mean, I think I'm generalizing what he said, but I might be manipulating it slightly, but I think on the whole it was like the more producers, the less good the film in some respects.
Yeah. And obviously the budgets are inflated because they're on like, oh, I want my friend to get a producer credit on this and let them get 600,000 for nothing. And it's like, what? Well, no, fuck off.
like, it's like if Tom Cruise says, "Oh yeah, I want to do a movie, but like I want my mate Dan to be a producer on it, otherwise I won't do it." Like then you're like, "All right, hi Dan."
Yeah, lovely to meet you, Dan.
I mean, depending on the film and everything, I think like necessarily want Tom Cruise for every project, but like if it's like that's he fits and everything else, or whoever it is, then you're like, okay, well, it's either we don't get him, we have to go somewhere else, or we have to suffer Dan for the rest of it. I don't know who Dan is, by the way. Just imaginary friend.
Sure.
Yeah.
We all know a Dan, mate.
Yeah. Okay. There are many Dans.
There's
Dans.
so many.
Yeah.
And they can all fuck off.
Bless them all.
Oh yeah, I hope they succeed in everything that they claim to do.
Yeah.
But we should probably start with the questions.
Yeah. Sorry, we divulged into many different things.
No. These bits are usually my favorite bit because it's shop talk, and I like to talk shop. So you've mentioned a few films now that have hinted at an age as well. Are you sub 40?
Yeah, just 39. I was a few weeks ago. So I'm circling the toilet of my 40s imminently.
We all are. Don't worry about it. It's only a couple of years for me. We're fine.
Yeah.
So we might have similar film choices, which is always a nice thing because I can agree that I've seen them as well. But what was the first film that you saw at the cinema?
So I've thought about this before, and I'm not 100% sure. Whether I know it's the first one or not. But so I know the first two I remember definitively was Lion King, obviously. And Andre, the one about the seal.
Oh yeah.
I went to see that at the cinema. So I remember those two. I think I might have gone and seen like another Disney film or something else before that. But I mean I was like 6 when they came out, I think. So it would have been that, like I can't remember like before that, but I was watching films before that just at home.
Yeah, video guy.
VHS baby.
Oh mate, I've still got quite a few of my VHS, and I love them.
Nothing that will play them anymore, but yeah.
Oh no.
Really? Oh well, respect.
I got
that.
My Laserdisc player only just broke, but I got a VHS player. I got all the Blu-ray, like 4K multi-region. Essentially, I can watch most things. I got an 8mm projector up there. I got 2 16mm projectors.
Oh, wow.
Like, it's only 35mm I can't watch in my house.
I mean, that's not a bad brag to have, to be honest. I mean, you're doing well there. Like,
the dream is to have Jaws on every format.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm nearly there. I haven't got it on 35 or 16, but that's about it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's that. If you get that, I mean, that's a collection of the whole. That's a feather in your cap you have to wear at all times. Then.
Well, I did a shift as a projectionist once at the Prince Charles in London, and they
Mm.
had reels like 3 and 4 of Jaws, and I was like, what are you doing with them? And they're
Yeah.
like, not giving them to you. I was like, well, fucking fuck's sake.
Yeah, I mean, to be as we I mean, you'd have, I'm sure that if they exist out there, but they cost you a pretty penny if you.
Oh yeah. The closest I got was a 16 mil of Jaws went for about 3 grand, about 10 years ago, and I put in my bid. It was not 3 grand.
Oh,
It might have been 1,800. My bid.
I mean, that's still a chunk
Still
of
a chunk of change.
yeah.
And then when it didn't, the relief washed over me, and I bought a motorbike instead.
Which was probably more handy, like less cool in conversations, but.
No, this was a piece of shit motorbike, and I shouldn't have bought it.
Okay.
I sank a lot of money into that.
So what moral of the story is like
should have got yours.
Yeah.
Should have got yours.
You'd be happy.
I got my 8 mil Singing in the Rain, so that feels.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
That's a nice one. That's
I
a
like
nice
that.
one. So Andre and Lion King. I saw Lion King. I remember crying my eyes out when Mufasa died, and then my gran berating me, be like, "What are you crying for?"
Yeah.
And I was like, "Because he's dead. The dad's dead."
Yeah.
She was like, "Oh."
Yeah, I mean that's kind of like a traumatizing moment. There's obviously I mean it's your formative years as well. Like all the most like kids films and stuff like that. Death is handled very very tactfully, and I feel like Lion King's very just that obviously that father son relationship is such a kind of a powerful dynamic anyway. But like so kind of like in that film, it's so important, and so for the first part of it, and then you're just like, I don't know what to do with this information. This is like
also like there's the betrayal, Scar, like his own brother.
Yeah,
like there's someone about that.
King, and just Jeremy Irons is being a
perfect
an
voice for it.
Can't cast it any better. But they're just
you can't.
Yeah, everything about that. It's just so traumatizing, and then that's kind of mortality, but in just like with the gloves off for a kid. So I was like, fucking hell, this was raw. So
we're in the big leagues now.
Yeah.
This ain't Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles no more. This is real.
No, if only need to go back to it. I need to wind this back and just never watch it past this point.
Yeah. I used to be like that with a lot of films though, like Independence Day. I didn't like seeing the dog almost get like burnt alive in the tunnel. It doesn't get burnt alive at all. But in my head, I was like, that's too close. I don't like that. And I won't watch any more of this.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty sure I haven't seen Independence Day all the way through.
So there's more like all the ones I used to. I guess we'll come on to those, but like I used to just wind past a lot of stuff, like the uncomfortable bits, like RoboCop was like one. I mean, I watched a shit ton of films very early.
Yeah.
And the first scene in RoboCop was getting shot, like literally just like obliterated by bullets. So I was like, no, I can't watch that. So I always went past.
But in my head, it's so much worse, to the point where I rewatched it recently, like the 4K of it, and I watched it and I was like, that's all that happens to Murphy? Like, I pictured it a bit like Akira, like, and like just being absolutely like blown away into dust. And it was like, oh no, he just got a few bits shot and wasn't that bad.
He could have walked out of that,
he could have just pulled it together.
Yeah,
it could have been a bit tougher.
He could have sucked it up, and he's being a bit of a prima donna about it.
Look, he's a Detroit cop. I expect better.
Yeah, well, exactly. You'd expect that wouldn't be the first time he's been shot a couple of times. So,
thank you. Jeez. And Andre, that actor, she did a lot of work, and then nothing.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I can't even remember other than ultimately it's like Flipper with a seal, isn't it? Which was.
She was the in Napoleon Dynamite.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the girl that sells like the jewelry.
Yeah,
that's her.
I did not know that. That's an interesting link. I knew I liked her.
Yeah,
two great films she's been a part of. But that's always the thing with Tom.
I'd retire.
Just like on a high, like Napoleon Dynamite, pizza guys. I've done Andre. I've done Napoleon Dynamite. It's great.
Done everything I need to do here.
But yeah, I think I mean there was a lot of child actors that did that. Like, I mean, there was a lot of them that kind of the girl, I can't remember her name, but the girl played the Matilda, and then
Yeah,
like Hallie Joe Osmond and that they were like everywhere for like a few
yeah.
years, and then they just all obviously just cashed in their chips and like, oh
Jonathan Lipnicki,
Jesus, that's a name and a half.
right? And
Yeah,
he was everywhere.
yeah,
You couldn't move for that
like,
bespectacled blonde boy. But
yeah. But he was great.
now,
He was Beethoven as well, wasn't he? He was Beethoven and the
was he in Beethoven?
I don't know.
Maybe he
Maybe.
was in Jerry Maguire
Yeah, yeah,
and Stuart Little.
yeah, yeah. No, I don't know. Yeah, maybe they were later then, so maybe he wasn't in those. I think there's. I mean, obviously, like a spectacled young boy is. Like, I mean, I think like the Honey I Shrunk the Kids and stuff as well. Like, there's always
Yeah,
like one in there. It's just and like Home Alone. There's one of
yeah.
the cousins. So I'll be honest. I am terrible with names of films, actors, and generally people.
Oh, really?
Yeah, just limited brain capacity. So I feel like if I carried on
Fair.
remembering everyone's names, that I just forget to breathe or something. Like,
I've said before, I wish I knew maths the way I knew film trivia.
yeah,
Like film trivia is pointless. I wish I just knew maths.
yeah. I
That'd be a
mean,
lot easier.
I used to be a lot better. I used to say I used to be like any any time I knew I could tell you names, directors, movies, whatever. Um, and yeah, I could cite everything, but I don't know why. Whether it's just my fingers just not on the pulse anymore, which is probably why. And obviously I'm just older and more senile now.
Mm, mm.
But yeah, it's a mixture of all the above. But yeah, definitely like shocking memory for names now.
Going to the cinema as a kid though was always a fun. Like I was were you a big were you a big cinema family? Did you go often?
Yeah, but not as often as. I mean, I like something. I watched so many films. I mean, I was quite happy to watch 'cause where we lived. The cinema was like it was like a 40-minute journey away. So it was like so it's like an hour and a half round trip for like
Mm,
all the trial. So it was always like a big thing. It wasn't just like I will pop to the cinema.
yeah,
So because of that, it was definitely more of a a like a big event thing, or like there was like it was never that like as a family it was never our first thing to do, but
mm,
sorry most of it was why I watched his films at home. So it was like more so than the cinema, but then obviously as I got older it became when got like school and college and that, then obviously when I could go places under my own steam, then it became like a
yeah.
real thing. Yeah, for that. But so sadly, I can't say I was hanging out in the cinema every week in my formative years.
Shame,
Yeah,
shame.
it's a shame.
Um, so what films did you watch over and over again as a kid? If you're a VHS guy, I imagine you wore through your fair share of
Yeah,
Adam's
like
Family,
a
Bill
lot.
and Ted.
Yeah, well, I mean, it was because like I mean, I guess depending because like what age it was because like my parents were always super cool with like we could watch anything like but they
Mm,
loved the action films so I was watching like Arnold Schwarzenegger films. I think I watched
yeah,
Terminator 2 before I was 10. Um,
yeah, yeah.
and like
My
Robot.
I my mum would just whenever it was the arms scene, she
Yeah,
would just say, "Look away, boys," and that would be it.
yeah. Oh,
Didn't
they
care.
didn't even have that. Like we just like we literally middle of the day. It's like a Saturday afternoon, and we're like, Mum, can we watch the like RoboCop? And she's like, yeah, go nuts.
Yeah, crack on. Yeah,
Yeah,
go
yeah,
crazy.
yeah. Like I mean, yeah, she was always super cool. Like like but I mean, she like recorded a lot off the TV, so just as whatever's on
Mm,
TV. But then, so literally we had tapes where I mean, like Indiana Jones was one that we
yeah,
had kind of all three at some point that were recorded off the telly, and then like those ones, the tapes got so fucked up because we watched them so many times.
yeah.
Like then next time it was on TV, I had to kind of record it again, kind of thing. So yeah, I mean, yeah, Indiana Jones was a big one. I watched that like I don't know how many times I've seen all three of those.
Nice.
And then like Ghostbusters, both the
Yeah.
one and two, that they were ones I watched again a butt ton. Um, like Terminator 2. I mean, it's all before I was like, well, ultimately from like again like 8 and up, I was watching all of these and just happily Star Wars as well, obviously. Obviously.
Were you a Star Wars guy before the re-release in like
Yeah,
'97?
yeah.
Oh, really?
No, I mean, we just because again, like, well, my mum liked them. Both my mum and my dad liked them, and um, so so they always watched them if they were on kind of TV, and obviously, so she recorded them for us, and then so we watched them again and again. Specifically, me. I've got a brother and a sister, but me and my brother used to watch all these kind of ones together.
Where are you in the sibling
I'm the
hierarchy?
eldest.
You're the eldest.
Yeah, I think. Swear
As the second child, hard to disagree.
I mean, I'm of the opinion my parents should have quit while they were ahead. It didn't get any better.
They realised that not only weren't they going to do any better than my brother, they realised we can't afford for it to get any worse, so let's just stick with 2.
Yeah, yeah, probably right. So I think my mum wanted a daughter, so I think that's they span the roulette wheel one last time.
Yeah,
and got lucky.
It better be a girl.
Yeah, thank fuck. And 3 boys, that would be heavy. I mean, 2 boys is enough, but Jesus.
Yeah, I don't think I could. As a man who's pretty certain I'm not going to have kids, like 3 boys would be the absolute worst.
Yeah, that's a handful. That is. 3. I mean, to be fair, 3 kids of anything that my parents have my adoration for that because 3 kids is a handful.
Well, you're outnumbered.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
You know what I mean?
There could have been many a coup d'état like in our household, like
yeah, exactly.
Run riot, like Lord of the Flies.
Could have absolutely bonkers. Could have been revolutionary France over there.
Vive la France, vive la France.
So you got Indiana Joneses, you watched over Ghostbusters, Terminator. Like, it is weird how parents didn't. I don't think parents cared. Like, I wasn't allowed to watch The Exorcist or The Omen. Horror films were a hard no, but like Terminator, they didn't care.
Yeah.
They didn't want to take us to see Jurassic Park at the cinema because they think the dinosaur would have scared us. The dinosaur, the T-Rex. I really betrayed the fact that I'm a massive Jurassic Park fan there. But the dinosaur in Jurassic Park. And like there was a lot of anything that was horror, they were like, no, but anything that was gore couldn't kill us.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, and to be fair, like I always really appreciate because again, there was. Well, I mean, fair enough for some parents to be like a little bit more like, oh, well, you absolutely can't watch that. That's far too kind of old for you. Like when watching like 18 films, like when I'm 8. But like, I mean, there was like that. I don't think it's obviously as a kind of an adult now. It hasn't kind of made me like bloodthirsty or incited violence and kind of
I think that's the thing. Like I got friends who have sons and daughters, and they are like, no. They're 12, they will only watch things up to 12. They're 15, they can only watch things up to 15. Like the idea to me that it's like their 16-year-old son couldn't watch an 18-rated film. I was like, fucking come on, man. Let them watch it.
Yeah.
But I get it. And I'm like, oh, that must be quite nice actually for them to experience the film as it is intended for them. Whereas I was shown Alien far too long.
Well, I mean, I get it, but then also that's a seminal experience anyway, and then, but I also think it's kind of like I think it's a good way to because like looking back now, I mean, it's how you learn a lot of morality watching films that are older than you because the rights and wrongs and kind of like I think it's a good thing to see because obviously if you're spoon fed kind of like like rainbows and puppy dogs and kind of the even Disney, like Disney, if you think everything's like Disneyfied in reality and like romance is like, I mean there's plenty of people that say like their interpretation of romance and relationships is all kind of prince and princesses from Disney, which is kind of I mean
dangerous.
That's batshit anyway. I mean even as a person that likes Disney films. But that's not something to kind of like be like. That's not something to take your insight for as growing up. So I think I think in a lot of ways it's kind of beneficial to watch some of these things earlier because you just I mean, you see a lot more, and when your brain's a lot more like amenable, and obviously if you know, got clear boundaries of right and wrong and what they are, then I think that all kind of bleeds into into a positive way, as opposed to kind of watching some of the kind of like
Yeah,
kids films.
because I did mimic what I saw, but only in Jackie Chan films.
Yeah.
Like it's really weird. Like I watched a lot of horror, like when I shouldn't have. I watched a lot of action films because they were given a pass. I wasn't going out there recreating, hideous scenes. But after watching Jackie Chan films, I was like, I'm going to try and jump off that wall. I'm going to see if I can do a forward roll and then, jump into this thing.
Mm.
And then I had a buddy called Trevor, and at school we used to watch loads. And like his family were from Hong Kong, so they would bring over VCDs, and we'd watch all these VCDs from like Hong Kong of Jackie Chan films, and we'd then go jump off his roof. You know what I mean? Like we would do that. So obviously it could have gone horribly wrong. I could have watched like the worst of the worst films and been like, yes,
Yeah.
I'm gonna go murder some people.
Yeah.
But I didn't.
Yeah.
Instead, I thought I'm going to twist my ankle in the funniest of ways.
Yeah, well, and obviously, any time they do come out, obviously there's people that that what happened like the Matrix, and then like they've gone kind of like loopy and thought and like done terrible things, and same with like the Batman and stuff. I was like, but that's obviously those stories get kind of brought up and talked about, but see, that's like one or two people, and frankly, they don't sound like fully rounded individuals anyway. And there's plenty of us in the world, I'm sure, that exactly like us have watched kind of things way too early than they should have done.
Oh, I've seen some absolutely atrocious things in my life, like that I wish I hadn't seen.
Yeah.
But that's not affected me in that way.
Yeah, I mean, sure, there's some night terrors and everything I get nowadays, but it's
look,
yeah.
Only Kirsty has to deal with the screams. I don't got to deal with the screams.
Yeah.
I don't hear them. It's fine.
My neighbours hate me, but
it's a them problem by the sounds.
Eventually.
Yeah. It's like white noise. It just drones out.
Yeah. Exactly.
So, I guess then the first R-rated film you saw and how old you were, that's going to be quite.
Yeah, I mean, I was
young one.
I couldn't tell you again. Well, other things. I was always a shit sleeper. So my dad was a hero and brought home basically this old shitty TV from work. And then so I had like the TV in my room like when I was like 9, I think. And then so like then channel 4 like movies a lot any time of day, or like BBC Two sometimes as well. I would
Channel 5 movies.
Yeah. All the best stuff.
All the good stuff.
That was I watched way more stuff, and like even my parents wouldn't like, even though they were questioning it, they were like I watched The Exorcist when I think I must have been 10 or 11, and that fucked me up. Like Aliens, I watched those like around the same time as well. I watched a lot of them like on Channel 4 like late at night that I shouldn't have. And then because RoboCop wasn't 18, I think, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And like Total Recall, I watched that like my mum bought that for me on VHS.
Beautiful.
So it was. I couldn't tell you what the first ones were, but I was watching a lot of them.
I think it's the the household with the older brother was always like, you're going to get like, they're going to have Total Recall.
Yeah.
They're going to have something called a manual. I don't know what that is, but that looks fancy. Like, you know what I mean? You were going to like, there was always like an older brother out there who had like one series of X-Files, and you'd be like, what's this Tombs episode?
Yeah.
And then everyone would be talking about it. And I quite miss that. Like, I don't think I've seen a film where I was nervous about watching it. Like, unfortunately, it's now just like weird Italian sexploitation films where I'm like, ugh.
Yeah,
Dog Lay Afternoon, simulated bestiality. Do I need to see that?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Simulated, thank fuck. But it's also like, I guess that's the closest I'm going to get to when I was a kid being like, I shouldn't be watching Easy Rider.
Yeah, but that was the beauty of it. Then again, it's like like because it was like and because it was like the physicalness of like you had to get it off the shelf and put it into the, or like you borrowed it from your mate and you had to kind of secretly do it like where when no one was home because or you did it like late at night or whatever. And now it's just like, I mean, obviously, as long as you've got a device, you can probably watch something, and so just the novelty
straight off your
phone.
phone.
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot easier. There's a lot less kind of like, I shouldn't be doing this thing now, which I think that was kind of like a cool part of being a kid in the 90s. It's like, there were still things like that. And then
there is a lot to say about like, the internet, meaning you have every book, every film, everything at your fingertips. It's like, that is useful, but also it doesn't mean you get to discover.
Well, that's always my thing. Is like tastemakers, and you don't get to find you, because I mean, even like, I say this a lot, but watching films on Channel 4, like, it's like, if I read the synopsis like you do on Netflix now, like read the synopsis in the Radio Times or whatever, like, which is why I started doing, like, when I as like a or just like you just stuck on like Alien, and it's like, I have no fucking clue what's going on. I didn't even know what Alien was as a concept, but I was like, I'm just going to watch this.
Film about aliens. Like, that'll be fun.
I'm like, it's dark and kind of interesting. I'm a bit scared, but like, and it's a thing of like, was either that or you shut the TV off, and then but there was stuff like that I watched that I would never have, if I watched it, if I read the synopsis or like looked at it as a poster, I'd be like, nah, probably not. And that's the thing now, is like, watching so many films, because I either didn't have the choice. You're just like, well, it's that or nothing, or just like you went around a mate's house and they had like that on the shelf, so you just sort of watched that. Like you expanded your horizons so much more. So I feel like with so, I mean, it's same with music as well. Like when you have all the choice, it makes it more overwhelming to make a decision. But then and then you've got Netflix algorithm saying, well, well, you liked this, and this, so just watch all of these things because they're the same as what you just watched. But then what you do want is like, like a left of field choice.
Well, I took myself out of all the streaming services. I was like, I'm done with this. I don't want them anymore. So I went back to physical, and at first, this was only one shelf of films that needed to be watched. There's now, you can't see it, there's half full of unwatched.
Wow.
Right? So it used to be like, I've only got a shelf full of films that I haven't watched. I'll just pick any of those films. It'll be fine.
Yeah.
And whatever. Now it's 5 or 6 shelves. And I'm like, oh, God, paralysis of choice again. Fuck. Yeah. Like, I need to scale this down.
Yeah. No, but I used to, because I've still got my DVD and Blu-ray collection as well. And I'm like, I mean, I think I can watch it anymore.
Which one's Kung Fu Dunk.
Oh, wow. That's... not seen
it's the same guys that did Shaolin Soccer.
Yeah. I imagine
Stephen Chow film.
So it's going to be good. That was their vibe, just like kung fu and sport, just in one film.
And I'm in.
Yeah. I'm intrigued. So because of that. But I used to like, even when I used to, like the first DVD I had was The Mummy. I watched that like so many times, and then you get kind of like 10 films, and I was just again similar things to what I used to do on VHS. I used to watch them all the time.
Yeah, and those first run DVDs where they had really good menus and special features.
Yeah,
love them.
Yeah, I mean
that's mainly why I still prefer DVDs over most formats, is because of the special features. I love a documentary. I love show me how it was made. I love it.
They used to be so cool, and like just you burn another. I mean, with the DVD, you watch a film and watch the all the kind of the bits they put on there as well. And that used to be like I assume they just don't do things like that anymore. Just like in the same way, they're just part of the EPKs or just
It's kind of part of the EPK, but like even if it's on like a 4K, the amount of 4K films I have that have just the film.
Yeah.
And it's like, what the fuck are you on about? I have to keep, all right? I have to keep it. But my 4K of The Martian has nothing on it, but my Blu-ray of The Martian has loads of special features. So I'm a bit like, oh, I'm going to have to keep both in case I want to watch the special features, in case
Yeah, just to get
I
you like
have to watch the
one
special
day,
features to The
one April
Martian.
Sunday, you're like, I must watch the special features of The Martian.
I need to know how Ridders did it. But there's I have a couple of films where it is just like The Thing. My
Hmm.
4K of The Thing has nothing on it. My Arrow release of The Thing has 3 hours of documentaries. And it's like, right, well, I need both now because I want the
Yeah,
best quality picture, but I also want all the documentaries.
yeah. Which is, I
But
mean, it's crazy to me that they don't put this. I mean, I guess it's rights and kind of all the boring stuff. But like, yeah, that was the epitome. That I mean, that's what made DVD so good, and like having all those, and then some of them had even get crazy games on them and stuff. I remember
yeah, or some Easter eggs where you had to find them and
yeah,
then you'd get a deleted scene.
yeah. I just thought, I mean, that was part of it. That was
Yeah,
it was the first interactive films.
there we go. Netflix, move aside. You weren't doing it first.
Yeah, yeah.
DVDs were. But yeah, I miss them. I miss not them being as prevalent and going over to someone's house and checking out their collection.
Yeah,
Like we were saying about you go over and you sort of be like, oh, what's that? What's that from? I've seen that actor, but I've never seen that. But I remember mentioning Koyona Scotzi to my dad once, and he was like, how do you know about these types of films? Where did you learn that? And I'm like, a friend had it, and I wanted to know why it was such a weird jumble of letters.
yeah.
And that's why I asked. And then I watched it, and it turns out I fucking loved it. Then that got me
Mesmerizing.
into Baraka, Cronus, Samsara, watching all of them and being like, oh, mate, I fucking love this kind of stuff. And then just going into really obscure, Polish cinema that kind of has that, but it's not. And you're like, oh, great. And I miss that, organic discovery and
Well,
we have similar likes. So what films do you like that I've never heard of? Oh
yeah,
yeah, go
well,
on then, give me some of that.
it was a real because I mean, it was always a thrill to kind of discover a film yourself and then kind of talk to anyone about it. I mean, that's one of the joys of, especially if you love film and cinema, you'd be like, oh yeah, have you heard of this one?
Mm.
And I mean, I think we if you're a film geek, then you still get that because obviously there's always I mean, invariably there's always any conversation with another film geek ends up with something neither of you have seen before. That one of you can trade a film that one of you hasn't seen, and then you've got something to go and watch. But finding a hidden gem and then being able to gift it to someone else as well. That's the kind of the one. Is if you know someone's film taste and you're like, oh, have you seen, I don't know, Karen Squatsy or have you seen this or that or the other? It's and then they go no, and then they come back to you. Oh my god, that was incredible. Hopefully that's what you want. They go, that was shit. Why did you make me watch that?
Yeah, but then again, I've got certain friends. So I'm friends with the guys over at Caliber 9 from Outer Space podcast, and they do a great they do 2B movies and then they talk about it. And I've been on it a couple of times, and that's great because I love a shitty B movie. I absolutely love it. And it can be absolute horse shit of films, and I'll be like, 5 stars. Perfect. That's exactly what I wanted. So when they say to me, you should watch this film, and I'm like, oh yeah, and it's absolute horse shit, and I'm like, usually we are in sync. What the fuck has happened there? And then we have this great discussion of how the fuck did you like this pile of shit?
Yeah.
And then you realize it's from an audience and a filmmaker perspective. I'm like, that's lazy filmmaking. And they're like, as an audience, it's great fun. I'm like, I can't. It's so annoying. So then it's great. Yeah, but I really enjoy that. I prefer it when people don't like my film choices because then I'm like, go on.
Yeah, well, having a
Why?
debate about it is fun as well. And again, they're the best debates either about anything. When you get people that have kind of strong opinions both sides, and not ultimately no, they're both subjective, but it's just fun to just kind of throw it backwards and forwards. And I mean, to be fair, there's a few that I used to rave about. I'm trying to think what an example, but when I was younger, I'd be like, oh, and I was to my mates at university, or my ex housemates would be like, oh yeah, we've got to watch it. This film's amazing. It's incredible.
Yeah.
And then you're like, we're watching. I'm like, no, this is pretty shit. Actually, this is not as good as I remember. There's a giant slab of nostalgia.
Yeah.
And not 9-year-old me was thinking this is a great film, and I mean, they like
It-
double team the Jean-Claude Van Damme Dennis Rodman film was,
I
I think,
mean,
absolutely incredible. Watched it again in my 20s. I was like, fucking hell, that is utter garbage. I mean, I still enjoyed it, but it's a
it's
terrible.
on the shelf somewhere, and I agree.
Yeah,
Like, why is Rodman in a different? He's got different hair color every scene, doesn't he?
yeah, pretty much. Yeah,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I mean that's acutely Dennis Rodman, but it just is like it's nuts and like yeah that I
It's
mean
bonkers film.
yeah,
Van Damme was never my guy. When Van Damme's good, I think he's excellent. Time Cop, love it,
brilliant film. Yeah.
perfect film. But then like Hard Target, I didn't care.
See, I loved Hard Target. Loved. I mean, Universal.
Everyone else I know loves Hard Target.
Yeah, I mean, I love Jean-Claude Van Damme. Like even some of his terrible, like The Quest was a bad film as well. I love
Never
that
saw
one.
The Quest.
I mean, that is it's basically like a fighting tournament that he goes into, like out to Mongolia or somewhere to win, and
So it's just Kickboxer again.
basically, yeah. I mean,
Why break the model? Why
well,
break it?
exactly. I mean, and I was there for it. I was.
Yeah. I mean, I can't tell you how many Jackie Chan films are the exact same fucking thing where I've gone cinema.
Yeah, love it. I'm just
Love it.
But like it's same but different, and
Yeah.
so
Do another backflip.
yeah,
Perfect.
yeah. I'm so here for that.
What was so we've mentioned a lot of stupid films, safe to say, not in a shitty way when I say that, but like classic cinema. But what was the first film you watched that you considered like grown up?
I guess I like. I mean, maybe even it could have been The Lion King, just because we were talking about with the kind of the
themes.
with that. I was thinking this is different from everything that I'm used to. This kind of like gloves off now. But again, because my parents was always super cool like that. So just very I don't know, very early on, I was just watching things that that were grown up films. So it was never really thought, oh, I'm allowed to watch this now, so I feel more grown up. It was a case of just like, go nuts, watch that.
But I think there is that that sort of that like watermark where you're like, the Terminator is a adults film, right? It's for adults, but it's not a grown-up film. A lot of people have sort of been like Shawshank because it wasn't the first genre film or it wasn't the first whatever. And I think Easy Rider was one for me. It was the first time I watched like a counterculture film, and it really upset me that they die at the end. Spoilers. But honestly, if you've not seen it at this point, go fuck yourself.
Well, yeah.
But and like for me, I was like, what's this weird New Orleans scene where they drop acid and nothing happens? They're just doing acid. Like, what's going on? And as a kid, not quite understanding that, and like that for me was like, oh, this isn't a movie. This is a film. And it's like, oh, okay. And like, so I agree with you. Like, we were shown, I don't know if we were shown Leon, but like I overheard Leon, and like there are films that are not for kids, but we saw them. But then there were films that I saw which were like, oh, this isn't entertainment. This isn't popcorn. This is a hearty meal.
I guess I can remember, like, definitely when I watched so again, like Fight Club, when it came on it was on in TV, and I think what year that is, Fight Club, was it?
Well, it came out 99, so TV probably 2001.
Yeah, something like that. So I mean, I guess I'm still on my firm diet of horror and action and 90s thrillers and stuff. But that was I think that was one of the ones. There was like kind of, that was one of the first ones I was like, okay, this is like, I didn't like the like I watched and I was like, oh, this is like I'm thinking things now.
I can't let this wash over me. I've got to think.
And I was like, well, I'm not quite sure. So I watched it twice, quite close together, because I was like, I don't think I got all of that. I'm not quite sure. I think there was more to it than the meets the eye, and not like just the whole almost the whole thing of uh, Brad Pitt being kind of him, like that almost kind of completely went. I washed over me the first time I watched it. Even
Oh,
I
nice.
was like, fucking hell, like, this is. It was very confusing, and then yeah, like I think again it was because I'd been on a steady stream of films that had no real mental challenge to them. So then
No,
that was one that I was like, fuck.
they were just as surface as they could be.
Yeah, it was it being spoon fed like
Yeah,
to a T, and like I'm here. I'm still here for that. But
love it.
I do like like being challenged a little bit every now and again.
Look, I think with everything, like there's some days I might want to watch a Bellatar film. There aren't many, but there are some, and there are other days where I just want to watch the second Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles film.
And yeah,
And you have to have both. You have
yeah,
to have both.
yeah. No, but
You know
that's that. I mean, yes, correct. Like variety is the spice of life, isn't it? And that's like
exactly.
watching if you watch nothing but just like films like all the time, then again there are people like again where you have kind of like they'll get snooty unless when you start uttering about like kind of 80s and 90s or 70s 80s and 90s B movies or like actually like, that's not cinema. I'm like, what is?
It's more cinema than some of the shit I've seen, mate.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
Like, come on, come on.
Just like get off your big old horse there and come down play.
Yeah,
It's
I
really
bet.
fun.
Like, yeah, it's really fun.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, and I do think you do need to have both because a friend was working with someone and she was going to get rid of a load of DVDs, like give them over to charity, and I was like, well, I'll give you like a tenner instead of giving them to charity. I'll give you a tenner and whatever. Like, I'll steal from a charity. I don't mind. And in the bag there was just like quite a few rom-coms, and I was like, I'll watch some of these eventually. But there was also things like The Blair Witch 2 on DVD, which is quite hard to track down. It's dog shit, but it's quite hard to track down.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'll just take the bag, whatever. And then and this all links up. I randomly found a copy of Ben Elton's Popcorn, the book. And I was like, I don't have a high opinion of Ben Elton. And then he happened to be on Ramesh Ranganathan's podcast, and I listened to it, and I was like, oh, I'm wrong. I got a high opinion of Ben Elton. And then I watched something else. Oh, then he mentioned in that podcast he did Maybe Baby with Hugh Laurie. And I was like, that was one of the films I had got. And I was like, oh, perfect. I'll chuck that on. And I watched it. And I thought, I haven't got a high opinion of Ben Elton. He's not good. And it was such a weird like journey through it all. But I was like, but I'm pleased I had it. And I'm pleased that my brain wasn't going to be like, well, we don't watch rom-coms. It's like, no, we watch rom-coms. We'll watch anything.
Yeah.
We'll watch anything.
I mean, that's the best way. I mean, I remember when I did the top 250 films, I was like, right, I'm going to go through this list and watch them all. And there's a lot of them on there. It's like, I don't really want to watch that. Like, I feel it sounds
isn't it like Hachi? The Richard Gere film about the dog?
I don't think that was on there when I did it.
Oh god, I'm pretty sure it was on the IMDb 250 for a while, and I was always like, why? Why the fuck is that film on there?
I mean, there are definitely some ones that I'm like, I'm not sure about that.
Are you sure? Are you certain that should be on there? Is Fast and
I mean,
Furious 8 really worth it?
Sometimes it's done some shit houses kind of just going, well, we're just kind of like giving it lots of
spam it.
Just kind of for the novelty of ruining the this greatly curated list. So watching even that's like I like never was into anime.
Same.
Until I was like then watching the Ghibli films on. Because of that, and I watched. I mean, Spirited Away is still. I mean, it's probably one of my favorite films ever now. Like, it's an incredible film, and I never watched it, or like, I was very kind of just like nah. And then but you watch things like that, and you go, so it's nice to be surprised like that.
It is nice to be surprised, and I think, like, I still love it when I get shocked by something. I'm trying to think what I saw recently that I think it was a Walter Matthau film, Charlie Varick. I only know Walter Matthau from the Dennis the Menace film that we grew up with, the shit one. Like, obviously, I know him through The Odd Couple and all that kind of stuff, but I don't know him. Like, I don't know his oeuvre. And then I put on this Charlie Varick film, and I was like, that's a 5 out of 5. That's a perfect film. Like, and I was so pleased because it was a blind buy. It was a 3 for $20, and I needed a third or something. So I was like, I'll just get that. We're gonna see how it goes. And then I watched it, and I was like, I had no idea what this was going to be, and it was perfect. And now I'm on a Walter Matthau like fucking binge at the moment, and it's like great. Like, and I think had Maybe Baby gone the other way, I would have watched a load of rom-coms. And there are some fucking absolute bangers out there. Like, don't get me wrong, I really enjoy You've Got Mail. I think it's a great film.
Oh yes, You've Got Mail, Sleepless in Seattle. Like there's some. I mean, when Harry met her, I mean, again, like definitely. There are some pearlers out there, and there are some of them that are just like they're cool. They're rom-coms, but they're more like coms than roms. Like,
yes, they're all kind of loosely organized, and there's roms that go into rom-coms, and like there's even ones in the middle where I'm like, they're not really. Like, they're more funny, but they kind of do. And it's that sort of like, what? I'm going to have to move that because there's definitely going to be a moment where I'm like, I want more of a comedy than necessarily the romance bit. And
no, so that's, I mean, and there also, I think, Crazy Stupid Love is definitely, that's a great film. But I mean, that's just a great film. Good. Like, I mean, I guess technically it's maybe a dramedy, a romantic dramedy or something. I don't know what you bracket it as, but it's a phenomenal film.
It's excellent.
Yeah.
And that was another one that I wasn't expecting to like. And then I think either my mum watched it before me or I watched it before her, but either way, a suggestion was offered, and now it's become like one of the family favorites, if you know what I mean. Like that, The Mummy, Point Break. Like, there's certain films in our family that are just evergreen,
everyone, that everyone will be able, like, happy sitting watching that. At any time.
The Mummy is the one, because like when we got the video of The Mummy, my mum watched it, rewound it, and watched it straight away again.
Yeah,
she was like, "That was great." Again, like, that's all I want.
My mum is definitely I think I had The Mummy, and then I bought her The Mummy Returns on DVD. So we always had both. I mean, went downhill after that. So I'm intrigued to see if they do the new one.
I don't know if I want the new one.
No, I never want it, because it's just like, I'm always firmly of the opinion, quit while you're ahead. Like, leave people wanting more rather than
100%.
You've killed that now.
That's firmly dead, and is not going to rise like The Mummy. So, what film holds a special place in your heart? You've mentioned a few things, but what's going to land it?
Well, Jurassic Park's always that was, again, very, very similar to you. I was always a dinosaur nerd, so always like dinosaurs. So that was always one that I used to have a Velociraptor claw that
I have one of those as well, knocking around somewhere.
Cool. And I used to kind of like dinosaur kind of like cards, and my auntie used to get me as well. So I got like a full book of all these dinosaur cards.
Oh, nice.
Which is, so full on dinosaur geek, and obviously that, to me, is just a fucking great film. Still stands up.
It's an absolute banger. Perfect film.
So always of that, and then it's good, like, and then so my favorite films, but per se, but like Gladiator is definitely up there, purely because that was the one that I watched, and I was like just all of the emotions and like the awe of it all is basically, was like, I watched that, I was like, I want to make people feel like that. I want to make people feel like this now, bottle up this kind of emotion that I feel at the end of that film, and that was like, I want to make films now. So like literally,
Jurassic Park was my one.
Okay, so I mean, but it's like the like those. I mean, those, I just think they're such, in every facet, they're just like so well crafted films, obviously by absolute legends as well.
Yeah.
at the top
But
of the
then
list.
with Ridders can give you some stinkers.
Oh yeah, I mean he's cool all over the shop.
He's fucking hit and miss. Like his hits are perfect films, and his misses are absolute horseshit.
Woeful, yeah.
Like,
I mean, yeah, he's made he's got it wrong more than like Spielberg. Spielberg's got it. I mean, there's I mean, don't get me wrong, I don't like all of his films, but there's ones. Like they're all, there's the majority of his. I'm like, yeah, I'm on board
yeah,
with you.
yeah, 100%. Like I've got Always, which I've not watched yet,
Mm.
and like BFG, Warhorse. These films, I'm like, I don't really care.
Yeah,
but they're not bad films. They're just not for me.
yeah.
Whereas Ridders,
There's some real stinkers in there. Yeah,
but I think he would also say that they're stinkers.
yeah. I mean, he's a confident man.
Yeah.
He'll speak his mind. Over is it All the Money in the World when they sacked off Kevin Spacey, and then put Christopher Plummer in. I think it's Christopher Plummer.
Yes, probably.
And he's talking about it afterwards, and he's like, oh, well, they were kind of having a meeting about what to do. And he's like, well, give me 5 more days of filming, and reshoots. If we can get everyone else together, and the producers are like, you sure you can do it in that timeline? He's like, yeah, because I'm that fucking good. Like, he's a very brash old man way. I'm like,
yeah.
Like I think working with you would be an absolute nightmare, but I'd be here for it.
I think it would ruin film making.
Yeah,
but I've thought that with a lot of like big filmmakers. If someone said to me like, "Oh, which filmmaker would you want to be on the set with to like learn from?" I'm like, "Well, none of the greats, because that won't apply to me."
Yeah, well, yeah,
I don't.
You're working with them at like a point in their career where they can just say and do anything, and it's not necessarily a bad. Sorry,
that's not going to apply to me. Like, I guess Zach Kreger, because it's like they're about 3 or 4 steps ahead of me. So how can I get to you? That'll do.
That's why I always love Robert Rodriguez, because I was just he was always that kind of like can do, kind of like came out. I mean, obviously that you can't really cite him as or I mean that's the trouble even now, that people cite him and Chris Nolan as like that's how to start an indie film. But that was all when there was a DVD in the VHS market, and you can't make a. I mean, you can, people do, but like the El Mariachi, and El Mariachi is not a great film neither is The Following, really. Like,
no, it's not.
They're not great films, but then like that coming out of that, then suddenly getting kind of like millions of dollars, and like El Mariachi got Rodriguez a bidding war, and like imagine taking a $7,000 film to a distributor now. They're like, all right, mate, thanks for that. Off you pop.
Fuck off. No, just no. I'm not even going to take your fucking email.
Just like you wouldn't even get to meet them in person anymore. Like,
no, it's absolutely bonkers. Like, I love watching filmmakers' first films, because like you can see certain things where you're like, oh yeah, I can see where they were going with certain things, and I can see how they progressed into other stuff. But then I always get really bummed out by their second film having like 15 million budget, and you're like, fuck off. Like, we on about 15 million. Right, I'd take 15,000 at this point for a fucking feature.
Well, that's the trouble. Yeah, so just like the way it used to work versus now. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's still possible, but it's a shit ton harder, and like everyone just like back in the 80s and 90s, people with money were just like, wee.
Yeah. Well, my buddy sent me a thing that apparently the cocaine budget adjusted for inflation on the Blues Brothers was more than Oppenheimer was cost to make.
I can well believe it.
I can well believe it too. But it's just like, oh god, there was so much more money in the 80s.
Yeah. Otherwise, it was like we just kind of timed out before. Like it was like peak when everything was just like. The world's the world. The world will kind of carry on spinning, and like we'll live forever. Everything's great. There's always got the money, like
And if you're a white middle class man, there's money for you.
Yeah, exactly. Like you can do it. The world is your oyster. Like
you can just take it. We don't care.
Yeah, and they'll say thank you afterwards. Say it was a great time for some, not so much for others. But I mean,
there's that double edge.
Yeah.
Go on, sorry.
Yeah,
I would say Sorry, yeah, go.
The wheel is gone round now to a different one. We're all like, oh, it's not fair now.
No, but I was someone did sort of say like, how do you feel about minorities getting more of the work? And I'm like, oh, big scheme, big picture. I'm ecstatic. I'm so much happier that they're getting them. Very personal. I'm furious
Yeah,
because it's like, how comes as soon as I want to get in the game, they don't want to give money to people like me.
yeah,
I
yeah,
was told I could have it all.
yeah.
But it's like, but in reality, it's like, oh no, like I'd much rather everyone else got a fucking chance.
Yeah.
Like it's just unfortunate.
I think it's just obviously and right. So it has to kind of swing hard the other way to kind of to then kind of
Yeah,
hopefully then meet in the middle where everyone's just like it's just
exactly.
people not like the middle class white dudes are getting all of the work and all of the chances because I mean that doesn't do anyone any favors, frankly.
No,
We're
it
terrible.
polar opposites never work.
Yeah, yeah.
Lovely grey area where everyone gets a taste. Like a dirty socialist I am, when everyone
Absolutely.
gets a piece,
Yeah, I
everything
mean,
works better.
that's the dream. I think that's to say. Whether we ever get there without it having to swing backwards and forwards, and because by human nature, everyone when it's not working in their favour it's not fair. But
Mm,
that's such as life. It's like that's always the thing. You should know that you've got no guarantees in life, and whether you have to work for it or harder or less, whatever. It's just work and be grateful for what you get.
right? Just just think you can have another. You'll get nothing and you'll like it. Is I think
Yeah, well,
the
yeah.
other
I mean,
one.
so well, I would expect nothing and just work and and drink like it never sounds good on like a bumper sticker or anything, does it? But but
It's
like head down, work hard, and hopefully like something will happen.
some. I did a talk at a school recently about filmmaking, and some kids kind of were like, what like bit of advice would you give us? And I was just like, who can wait the longest?
Yeah,
That's it. Who can wait the longest?
yeah.
If you can wait longer than the next guy, you'll probably get it.
Yeah, if let's say if you're just like brutally stubborn, just like I am going to just keep swimming, just keep
Yeah,
that's it, and then like if say like just give yourself I mean learn and don't keep doing the same thing right over and over again. Like
yeah.
it's again it all sounds simple, and those kind of talks you get, everyone's like, oh yeah, great, and then but then even like a year later you come out and they're doing exactly what you said not to do.
Mm. And like I've had to change my sort of like metrics of success for me as a filmmaker. My goal was always get a film in the cinema. That's not a thing I can achieve anymore. And if it is, I've achieved so much more to get to that
Because
point.
it's so hard, mate. Yeah.
So it's so hard. So now it's just like, oh, just make a feature, or just make one. You might make a second, but just try and make one. Doesn't
Mm.
matter where it goes, as long as it gets somewhere.
Yeah. Well, obviously,
Sat on my hard drive.
even again, yeah, again, like this is just again, and not judging yourself by anyone else's stat, like kind
Mm.
of like just I mean, getting a feature done in this day and age is a an incredible feat. In like because it is so hard on so many ways. Never something that you can sit there and be, oh, I'm proud of that.
Mm.
But without obviously, you're always going to be. I'm sure as a director, you're always going to be the most hypercritical of your own work, but and you'll see all the kind of things that you hate about it. But like if you can sit back and go, I've done all right here. That's a
Yeah, I
dream.
think that's how you should be. Like as a whole, yes, I'm pleased with this. I rewatched Real Terror for the first time. I haven't watched it for a while actually, but I think it might have been like last October. I watched it the last time I watched it, and I hadn't seen it for maybe a couple of months at that point. And I was watching it in a room full of people, and it was at a screening, and I was watching, and I was looking at a certain scene, and I just leant over to my mate and went, "That scene doesn't work like that." And it's just a flash. It's just a flash of something, and I was like, "That doesn't work." And he was like, "Yeah." And I was like, "Did you always know that?" And he went, "No." And I was like, "It did work before." And he was like, "How many times have you seen this on the big screen?" I was like, "I've seen this on an IMAX. Like, I know that it has worked, but the more I watched it, the way I've changed, I've gone like, no, I would cut that out. and re-release it, and I wonder if it would do better. And it's just this weird thing. Like every time I watch it, I'm just like, I'm better than I was when I made this.
But I
I
mean,
wouldn't have done it like this.
yeah, but then that's the thing as well. Is I mean, like I say, earlier, so even things that you say that you like, I've heard someone say things or like what you, and then you're like, that's what you're saying something is absolutely ludicrous, and you're like, oh, I know I said that like 15 years ago, or 10 years ago, or 5 years ago. I mean, yeah, that's the thing with obviously your creative tastes and choices will be different because obviously you're going, and that's kind of the only the way that you can only the really the way that you can benchmark it is kind of looking at your past work and going, I'll do that differently now.
Yeah, but I still like. I think there's my 3 shorts I made at uni. Like the first one I made at uni. The lecturer said, "This is the kind of work you should be achieving for your 3rd year, everyone." And I was like, "That's good to know." And then the film I made in my 3rd year, they now use to entice people onto their film program. So I was really pleased about that. Yeah. So there's those things where I'm like, oh, that's a practical way that my film did work. It's now being used to try and get people in. I love it. So yeah, it's like I would change so many things if I was to make it today, but I'm still pleased with those films. I think they still work, but who knows? Who knows?
Well, that's a job. But yeah, I think if you can look back and say like there's like you can stomach watching them and they like you don't hate every second of it like nails on a chalkboard, then I think that's a good thing. Like
it's a good thing.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we've skirted with some controversial opinions, but what's your controversial opinion on a famous film?
I don't know whether I have like many like what I'd say like that I can think of off the top of my head. The one that I've probably had the most because I'm like I'm an avid fan of Timothy Dalton as James Bond. That like I think he's my favourite Bond.
Jones the Bond.
Jones the Bond.
007.
Stop getting Bond wrong.
Yes.
License
to kick.
Classic.
Yeah.
Jurassic Park.
Back of the net.
And now I'm just thinking about Alan Partridge.
Yeah.
Because and then Sean Connery was my second, but then also I'm not a fan of the Daniel Craig ones, right? In terms of because I just think I love the Bourne trilogy, and then but ultimately it's basically what happened. They looked at the Bourne trilogy, and then
that's how we should do Bond.
Yeah, and so then that's what they did, and pretty much like just like not beat for beat, but like it was pretty kind of ludicrously on the nose. So I was like, so I kind of poured scorn on Daniel Craig as Bond and the Daniel Craig Bond films, and obviously like he's got lots of fans. I mean, he's not terrible in it, but I feel like because they're like everyone. A lot of people say, "Oh, he's so new and so different to kind of the others." I was like, "Well, no." Timothy Dalton was like he was a bit more.
Dalton's the most.
He was a bit
like
more
non-Bond.
Yeah, but I mean, he had the swagger and the kind of the thing like the generic Bondness as well. But like he had the kind of like he was a bit more like terse and kind of like hard as well, like whereas the others were just a bit. So I think it was more Daniel Craig, the way he played it was seen as like this like so different. I was like, well, only one Bond ago.
Yeah.
When the Living Daylights was and License to Kill. The Living Daylights is probably better, but they're two of my favourites as well. So
interesting. I think with Daniel Craig's Bond, like there's only 2 good ones.
Yeah, but I mean,
you know what I mean.
To be
fair, he did 5.
Yeah, I mean, there are. I mean, like Skyfall was the best one,
Yeah, and Casino Royale.
Yeah, and I mean the others were terrible. Like all of
Yeah,
them,
and genuinely terrible.
like the last one, I was just like, I mean, I watched it, but I was just like, I hate everything about it, and the fact that
Yeah.
you know who's going to die and everything is like, and then try and make it all kind of emotional. It's just like, oh, absolutely do it. And I would have kind of exploded him on the spot, or so, like about half an hour sooner, because they just milk it out for so long as well. So I don't care about it.
No, I agree with you. And like, I don't dislike Pierce Brosnan.
Again, he had his film like Goldeneye, great, loved it,
Wonderful.
Rest of them, like they just got more and more outrageous there.
Yeah, I think I don't mind World's Not Enough.
Yeah, I mean that was Tomorrow Never Dies. I quite like with the kind of, because that was like that was what's his name,
Jonathan Pryce.
Jonathan Pryce, who's a great bad guy, and just the fact that it was like that felt kind of like a more interesting kind of thing of than nuclear war and everything. It's just like this kind of like this newspaper mogul, this kind of news mogul kind of manipulating the world and everything.
Weird.
Yeah. So I did like that one. And World Is Not Enough. Yeah, it was all right.
I like Robert Carlyle in it, I think.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. I'm not a Bond guy. Like I actually I struggle quite hard to watch any of them. Like I love the set design of the early ones, obviously. Like the Ken Adams stuff is like, it's beautiful. I love, purely from a filmmaking perspective, films from the 60s and early 70s. Robert Shaw in From Russia with Love is excellent. Like there's elements of all of them which I'm like, oh yeah, I quite like that. But I'm just not a Bond like guy. And even to the point where, to quote like the Idols, like, I don't care about the next James Bond. Like, he calls for Queen and Country, whatever. It's like, we don't need another murderous toff. And it's like, yeah, kind of. Like, I don't know if that character has ever represented, like, not me, obviously, but that hero element for me has never been in that kind of guy. So to me, it's like, I don't know. But I think for years, I always thought the Timothy Dalton ones would be the ones that I would enjoy. And then I watched them recently and I thought they were dog shit.
They escaped down a mountain on a cello case. That's what's not to like about
Take it all back. Take it all back.
Yeah, come on. No,
if it's good enough for indie.
Yeah, well, I mean, I do get it. I mean, to be honest, I think they should just. I know they're clearly not going to. They're going to kind of like make it for the next generation, but just like hit the character and everything about it just does not fit. Like it's it's hideously 50s or 40s or 50s and 60s. It's like there's no like he's a kind of like a womanizing kind of like kind of arrogant like wanker, doesn't respect kind of there's no anything about that character. Like I just think it's by design just isn't a great one in modern society. But then trying to make it like just do something else. Like for fuck's sake, like
just do something else. It's not going to kill you.
Yeah, like it just that IP should just be retired. Like I thought that even before Casino Royale. Like like it just. I mean, yeah, they're different and they have modernized it, but like. Now, in the modern day, just the way and what it is at its kind of its core is still the same, and it's just not a good core to have. So I just think
the fact that like Amazon now owns it as well, like that really worries. The sort of like, does Bezos not realize that he would be a villain in Bond?
Probably not. No, I mean he probably wants to be James Bond. He's living out his kind of like his teenage dream kind of thing. I'm sure.
And it's just like
he's like doing all of his teenage dreams.
Wearing a cowboy hat. Come on, Robert Rodriguez is the only person who can pull that off.
Yeah, and the guys in Yellowstone, obviously, like that.
Obviously, yes. Sorry, yes.
And me, obviously, if I learned to ride a horse and could go around, then I'd obviously be able to as well. But
my lady,
ma'am,
yeah. But yeah, like I just because they're going to do like are they going to do like Moneypenny spin-off? Like, because they're going to do TV shows, they're going to do films, they're going to be 00 up the wazoos.
Yeah.
Like, I think what, like, my thought was, what they should have done is, obviously, what they should have done, this guy, was like, they should have just introduced like a Bond film and Bond was dead. That was it. Let everyone think that Daniel Craig was going to do another. It starts off, Bond's dead. And
he just has like a heart attack from like bad cholesterol or something. Like he just is like,
exactly, from all the whiskey he's chugging down. Like, and they just say 007 is dead. Like, it's now your turn, 008. You know what I mean? And then they just go like, right, that's it. Anything that happened is now 007's little reputation hasn't been tarnished, and you can do whatever you like. And 008 could be, heaven forbid, a person of color or another type of person. And it's just like, and we could see how it could work.
But then I just think for that, then if you're always going to be under the weight of like the because it's James Bond. I mean, if you could call it a James Bond universe, like it's kind of like it's in that felt just do something like new and interesting and then you don't have to kind of like facilitate this because like I think it's more. So obviously that they'll try and milk like it as an IP, even if it isn't James Bond. But then, like, I think you get crushed under the weight of that more than you would like get an audience to buy into it more.
Yeah.
If you didn't make it a thing of being like, well, it's like it's James Bond, but now it's a person of color or it's a girl or whatever. And obviously these things have come up, and there's all these kind of like crazy, like keyboard warriors talking about stuff like that, and you're thinking, Jesus, like I think it just better to just do something entirely new, and then let it die in a cupboard somewhere. Frankly,
if you were to let it be something new as well, you don't need the same kind of budget as a Bond film. You can cut it smaller. You can make it, and what anyone would want if they were making a new Bond film. Because they said it when Bourne came out, they were like, "Oh, it's like a fancier James Bond," and it's like, right there you go. So if they made a new James Bond, they'd be like, "Oh, this is like a new James Bond," and it's like, right. Yeah. So that's going to have some cachet. That's going to build its own reputation. Just stick with that, and let it die. Just let it die. But then people can't let it die.
No, well, the bit of it is it's IP, so heaven forbid anyone like not milk it to kind of like within an inch of its life. And to be fair, the trouble is, I mean, we'll see whether this next round what happens. But like people still like, so I don't know, not all of Daniel Craig's Bonds like made shit tons of money, but they all made good chunks of money. So people still go and watch them. They're still like
yeah. Well, they're big in China for some reason.
Yeah, I mean, it was just. I mean, obviously, just kind of eccentric Britishness. I guess.
Oh yeah, that makes sense.
Has that charm for kind of like the international market. I think, and it's just that recognised.
Which is why there couldn't have been a person of colour Bond.
Yeah, right. They wouldn't curry in places like China because they'd be like,
no,
like is this? I mean, to be fair, there'd be, I'm sure, plenty of idiots in the UK that would be up in arms if that happened as well.
Oh my god. Like the amount of people I know that kick off about IPs that they have no skin in the game for, other than being a fan.
Yeah.
Like as I've mentioned, Jaws, one of my favorite films. I've never seen 2, 3, or 4. I don't need to. I have the perfect Jaws film.
Yeah.
I don't need any more. So when people say like, how do you feel about him roaring in the 4th? I'm like, I don't care. I've got one. I'll just watch Jaws. And if I don't want to watch Jaws, I won't. Like, I don't mind Deep Blue Sea. I didn't mind The Meg.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't matter to me. I didn't write the fucker.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, so that, I mean, that's like, I can never get too precious about even the ones that I'm like, like very, very geeky about. Like, I still like, I haven't got. As a rule, like I'm not enchanted by remakes and sequels and prequels or whatever, but like I like as long like you're right, as long as you got the original and that's the one that you like, you don't no one's making you watch the other ones, so you have to
I think that's the thing, no one's making you watch them, so just give it a go. Like the True Grit remake by the Coen brothers, great fun.
Yeah, yeah.
There you go. The
Still prefer,
310 to humour.
yeah,
Great fun.
prefer the original stuff. But again, that I mean, sometimes like that you can do a remake, and it is great.
Yeah. Like, there's loads of things out there that are technically remakes that are great fun.
Mm,
But you don't have to consume every single thing that comes out from an IP. Like, I think that's the thing that confuses me the most about, obsessive fans and things, is that it's so what? Like, so what? You watched it, you didn't like it, you don't have to go any further than that.
mm,
That thought process, I didn't like that,
yeah.
is where it can die.
Yeah,
Like,
it's something to get kind of like het up about, and Rip Ross, kind of people that have the same kind of loves as you and everything. So I kind of it's kind of a community thing, but like it just does like the way some of it goes, and when it gets into the kind of the crazy stuff, like he was like in the book he's left-handed, not right-handed, and or like just stuff like that is you just kind of chill out. It's a
yeah,
film,
just
like
chill the fuck out.
enjoy it. If you're looking at that and that's inhibiting you enjoying the film, that's sad.
That's ruined it for yourself. Yeah, I think what was it, like, as well, what Argento said with Suspiria, where he was like, well, if you're going to make a film that isn't anything like the film I made, don't call it Suspiria. And if you're going to film a film that's a shot-for-shot remake of my film, don't. We already have Suspiria.
Yeah.
And it was like, yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Like, call it something else and change it.
Yeah.
Or just don't do it. I don't know. I don't care.
Yeah.
Clearly, I do care. It annoys me that it annoys me.
I'm fine. Everything's fine.
Fucking stupid idiots! But no, I'm fine. I'm fine. What have you been watching recently then? Other than dailies and the same thing over and over and over.
Yeah, a lot of that. I've been doing I think more series at the moment. Well, I did go and see. I went and saw The Mandalorian, the new, and Grogu the other day on the cinema, which is.
Do you have fun?
Yeah. If you like The Mandalorian, it's basically a long episode of The Mandalorian. It's
Lovely.
It's nothing kind of groundbreaking, but it's a lot of.
They can't all be Rogue One.
Yeah. Like what? No, like Rogue One is always going to be the chef's kiss. And then I think so. Basically, we've been watching series. I've been watching is it Friends and Neighbours?
I haven't seen it, but the John Hamm one. Yeah, I haven't seen it. Good.
So season one's incredible. I'm on season 2 at the moment. So I was waiting for season 2 to come out, and season 2's like not as like the concept and what it was all about. The first season I really liked, and I think it's just gone more into the characters now as opposed to kind of like the concept, which I guess is inevitable if you're going to do a proper ongoing series. But so it didn't like that as much in and Shrinking as well, because the new series of that's come out recently, which is Harrison Ford. And just fucking, and it's Bill Lawrence who did Scrubs. I always loved Scrubs, so nice. Like that's kind of a similar thing to Scrubs. Is like you can laugh and cry in the space of like half an hour.
Yeah,
and it's like he's a magician, so that's definitely incredible. And I've just finished clearly on an Apple thing at the moment, because they're on Apple, and then
I think they do the best. They do the best stuff.
Yeah, I mean, they don't have a lot, but what they do have is all excellent.
Yeah,
and
Silo. I love Silo.
Yeah,
Severance.
Severance obviously is fantastic. And then I want to watch the Cape Fear that's just come out with.
Good.
I'm not seeing it yet. I'm waiting to. I've just.
Let it be done, and then.
Yeah. I try and do. I try not to binge watch. I try and do an episode per night, just so
nice.
because just so you. I feel like especially you appreciate the beats a bit more in the kind of episode to episode, and not if you just watch it all in one, then you don't really get the arcs in the same way. It just kind of all blurs into kind of like
lose a lot of the fun nuance that the filmmakers put into it.
and it's just nice to look forward to like the next episode of it as well, because again, it's like when you used to watch 24 on a Sunday night, and you're like, oh, I can't wait for another week now to get to the next one. And it's even
I was the same with Martial Law, the Sammo Hung TV show.
Oh wow, that's I've never watched an episode of that. I heard
Channel 5, obviously Channel 5, and it was Rush Hour, the TV show, essentially.
Wow, that's say no more. I'm in.
There you go.
And then Foundation was the other one that I've just finished.
Yeah.
Like, so I like. So I'm sci-fi nerd. So that was fantastic. And obviously they're doing a new series of that now. So I mean, it's a hard one to get into, but once you're into it, it's great.
Well, I wanted to read the Asimov books. I wanted to do all that first, and then I read one Asimov book, and I couldn't do it. I was just too much like, oh, this is deep sci-fi. Like, I love sci-fi, but I was like, this is too much.
Yeah.
But I will watch the show because I love sci-fi.
Well, it's great. I mean, it's one of those ones because like I read Game of Thrones before I watched it, and I hated the first like 5 or 6 seasons of Game of Thrones, because I was like, well, this is so. It was just like, there's so much more. I mean, obviously, there's always going to be more density in the book, but there's just so much that was like, it was so much like better in all the ways. And then and then now I've gone back and watched Game of Thrones since, and I'm like, actually, it's incredible. Now I love it. But yeah, like and because I think the foundation, the series differs so much that like there's entirely new characters.
Nice.
So like it's just like there are kind of beats that are in the book, but a lot of it is kind of, it's using that as kind of like I guess a blueprint and then building off of that. But yeah, it's significantly different, I think.
It's like my buddy's show Walking Dead. It was he did the artwork for the comic. So
amazing.
So like now, I ask him about it, and he's like, I ain't got a fucking clue where this show's going, because it's like it deviated from the first series and it's just gone its own way. And it was like, oh, that's quite nice. He's like, yeah, I watched the first 4 series. And it's like, there's about 10 or 11. He's like, I wouldn't know.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, fair enough.
Yeah, I watched that today. Started getting really. I mean, the sun started getting really annoying. I was like, I can't deal with this anymore.
I when Charlie went off to shoot it, because he was in the first episode as an extra, and he was there for like the first day of like the first whatever. Frank Darabont was the director on the first one, so he met Frank Darabont, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
But when he got back, like obviously months had passed, whatever, and then he was like, "Here's the first 6 episodes." It was like a screener disc, and he lent it to a few of us, and we watched it. And I think I watched the first 3 episodes, and I was like, "Yeah, not for me."
I'm all right.
And that's it. And I don't know. I would say that's probably why me and Charlie are mates, is because I couldn't give a flying fuck about The Walking Dead. But
yeah. So I say it's but that's things. Like even when you like people like I mean, there's all those ones that are in the zeitgeist, or ones that are like really popular.
I'm all right. I was the same with Game of Thrones. I think I watched every series reluctantly. Like my housemates, when the first 3 series came out, we watched, and I was like, I just got home from work, lads. I don't care what you do. I would go to work. There was 4 of us. 3 of them were on the odd job seekers, and I would go to work. They would be up from the night before playing Skyrim, chain smoking cigarettes and playing Skyrim. I would go. I'd come home from doing a full day of work. They would still be playing Skyrim, and they would only stop to put in the next episode of Game of Thrones.
Jesus.
And for the first 3 series, I watched it all just because I'd get home from work shattered and be like, what is going on, boys? We can't all live like this. Why am I the only one working?
Yeah.
And then like a girlfriend at the time, like I moved out of that house into with her, and then we watched like I think the next 4 seasons, and then the last 2 seasons like my current partner, because you never know. We've been together like 10 years. She I think she watched like the last 2 series, and I was just like, I don't care. I don't care, and I've had to watch all of it.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, no, with that, that's one of the funny ones. Like everyone gets uppity about the ending of that. So how do you think it's going to end? Like
Oh yeah.
I thought the ending was very good actually. Very quite apt and realistic in a lot of ways.
We redid Lost a
Mm.
couple of years ago, and I loved the ending.
I mean, it's true, but like people. I mean, obviously, when you invested a lot of time, you want like an ending that's going to kind of satisfy you. But when you put so many hours into something, it's like there's no ending that's going to be. And it's true with something
No.
like Lost. Like Lost, I had no fucking clue where it was going from one series
No.
to another. So like, yeah, they just like, well, we have to end it somehow now, and I'm not quite sure what up and down
And
anymore.
and everyone seems to think it's purgatory, so let's just say it was purgatory.
Yeah, it's just going to go that way because that seems like a good way to go. Like,
But I enjoyed it.
yeah. So I think. I mean, it's always funny with when those big series end. That like everyone's up in arms. Like there's always no one's happy. And
No.
I've very much argued for Game of Thrones. I think is a very good ending. Like I think it's very like all of the characters do the things that they think the characters would do, and yeah, like Daenerys is going to she's going to be a kind of curveball. However, so probably for the best of everybody if she just pops her clogs.
And that's the thing. Like, is it because you don't agree with the story or you just liked the character? You know, it's like if you just like the character and you don't like that they died, then you don't understand how storytelling works. Like,
but that's the whole thing I did like about Game of Thrones. It was like they're like because it's like because no one's safe. It's like there's no justice and all. But that's real life. That's how it is. Like you don't if you're kind of like the nice guy and just and smart and or like you've worked your whole life being a good it doesn't mean that someone's just not going to go stick a knife in your stomach. Like
yeah, it's like it was always the thing. Like if you liked anyone from that show went like Khal Drogo.
Yeah,
if you liked him for raping Emilia Clarke, boom, dead.
got he deserved. Yeah, and so like it's just like no one. But I like that. I think that's the thing that the kind of thing I think storytelling is going to come on a little bit now is like there is that thing of like the hero doesn't always survive because that's not always that's not reality. Like
I have always wanted to do a film where like the hero dies about 3/4 of the way through.
Yeah,
and then everyone else just has to pick up the slack.
Yeah,
that's it.
But I mean, that's trouble. Like you, but then you'd the trouble because I'm the same. I was like, I love the ones. I mean, see Gladiator, I loved because I was like, he dies at the end, but obviously they could rock it out because he goes back to his family, so it's fine. It's great. Like it's really a happy ending. But I can see like the sales and things now. Like if you murder your lead in the like third act, or the beginning of the third act, they're like, yeah, we like it, but no, we can't do that. No.
What if you give them a peppy sidekick who is from day one, kill them?
Yeah,
just kill them.
Trouble is because it goes back to the kind of tracking, like if you put it on in front of an audience and then you ask them questions about it afterwards, which is like still kind of like how the bigger films are.
Yeah.
Like, they're like, well, like how do you feel about the film? They're like, yeah, I liked it. What didn't you like about the film? Well, then like I felt bad when the guy died, and I didn't like that. So they go back with like everyone like said, oh yeah, well everyone didn't like it that the main person died. I was like, well, that's a good thing.
They felt something.
Yeah.
That's what a film should have done.
That's like we're like you like they're like, okay, well, can we just kind of put another scene in where he just actually just gets up and realizes that like the bullet. Like,
go watch some Italian neorealism and realize that the audience is not owed an ending.
Yeah, well,
it'll just stop, and that's it.
Yeah, and you're welcome. Yeah, it's a trouble. Like again, it's like audience with opinions. I mean, they think they know what they want, but they don't know what they want.
No.
And
they want to be entertained.
Yeah,
and they're afraid to feel an emotion other than joy, so they only want joy. And I understand it. Life is miserable, but I think as long as you didn't feel boredom, you felt something. I don't care what you felt. That's good.
Amen to that.
But I'm just a silly arty creative, so what would I know?
Yeah. Well, does anyone know?
It was anyone, no. Well, thank you very much for coming on. You've named some good stuff, and I'm definitely going to put Quest.
The quest.
The Quest. Okay,
Yeah.
The Quest. I'm going to put The Quest on my letterbox watch list. So that better be good.
Yeah, let me know how you get on with that. I think it's an absolute peach of a film.
If you never hear this episode get aired, it's because the film was shit.
Yeah, fair. Okay, well, I'll look forward to this never being
Exactly.
being aired.
You'll never hear the Ridley Scott episode.
Yeah.
That's what I should do. I should just say that there's so many in the bank, mate. I got one with Prince.
Yeah. Never to be
That's
aired.
how long. Never to be aired. It's in the vault. It's in the vault.
Yeah.
But yes, thank you for coming on. There's been some good stuff. It's also nice to meet a fellow creative who thinks the same way.
Yeah, no, likewise, man. So pleasure. So it's been nice having a chat about about cool movies and growing up in the 90s.
It's the best. It was the best. We had it the best.
Either. I have no comparisons, but I'm sure it was.
I think it was. Because we had just enough, you know what I mean? We had some internet, but not all the internet.
Yeah. We had outside and trees and you know
exactly.
Come home at dinner time, like it was great.
I mean, I've started gardening because I'm at that age, so I'm starting to feel it now. I'm starting to get back into the soil.
Love it. I'll hopefully that probably won't be me anytime soon, but.
Oh, I thought that until all of a sudden someone said grow some radishes. And then I was like, oh, I'll grow some radishes. And I was like, I'm into this. I like the idea of seeing things grow.
Maybe I haven't got a garden, so that's maybe that would change when I've got a garden.
There you go. Wait for another pandemic and then leave to the country.
Yeah.
You country bumpkin.
And then I'll be We'll do one in like 3 years, and I'll be like, oh, I grow all my own produce now.
And I'll have gone all the way the other way, and I'll be like, I've got cybernetic implants now. I'm all city.
Yeah. You are AI. Just
I am AI.
Yeah.
Me and Elon Musk, we both got our brain implants and both doing weird twitches, not because of ketamine, because of our brain implants. And that's that. Have you ever thought, here's a quick one, last question. This isn't one of the set questions, so I'm asking off the top of my dome, everyone. He makes so much money.
Mm.
Do you think, wait, no, not do you think, if you asked him out of everyone's eyes and say, look, I'll sign a contract that says I can't tell anyone that this is where the money came from, give me 10 million, I'm going to make 3 films.
Mm.
Would you take the money from him knowing it's from him? And you can't like divert the money. You can't make 3 films for like 1.5 million and give the rest to charity. You have to make, like, he wants to see a logbook of like, no, you've made 3 films.
Mm.
There it is.
Yes, I would. I'd do. I'd make something that has some kind of. It has like it has a message at its core that's for the good of it's saying something about humanity and like something about culture, or highlighting something that's wrong with culture, like something like I love the genre films, like I'm all genre films, but then like His House, for example, like it's not a preachy look at asylum seekers, but it's like it has this like really harrowing like horror film, but also with this harrowing kind of like backdrop of what the realities of life are like for some people, and just like so I do something that has like
a bit of a social impact.
Good ultimately. So try and say something. If it was just money and go and do something that I wanted to do, I'd do something like that. So it'd be something like it would be something that I could say, well, I've the money's come from someone that's not great, from questionable sources, but I'd like to try and do something
good with that.
Yeah, in the vein that I could, and that's a dream, or ultimately what I want to do with films anyway. So that I think for me anyway, my own morals, I could square that away with myself and not feel too icky.
That's a fair. I'm pleased that you answered that honestly, because I've thought about this for quite a while, And I thought, like, I don't know if I could. And then it's like, well, if no one knows, do I feel like if I could take the money if I thought no one knew? What if he wants to have, like, creative input? And it's like, well, if he wants creative input, it's a no.
Yeah.
If he wants his name on the credits, I think it would be a no.
Mm.
But if it was a angel investor situation,
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. I think if it was if there was any more terms than just like here's the money, go and you have to make the films, but other than that, there's no kind of other things. Then but if it was like any kind of absolutely not with creative control, and I don't think I would because then even if you are doing like a film, like so what I'm talking about, like so you kind of you're trying to do something for good. The fact that his name's on it's then kind of just he's like that then feels like he's doing something for his image, and then that's kind of
pre-tarnished
the whole project. So there would only be that one way that I'd be like, yes, I'll take the money, but you're no longer no part of it, and otherwise, I don't think I could either, to be honest.
And one last question: if you had to have a gun, would you have a boot holster, a hip holster, or a shoulder?
I too watch too many westerns, so I'd have to have a shoulder. Hip. Yeah, sorry, no shoulder, hip.
Yeah, sling it right off the hip.
Yeah.
Or like Sex Machines from Dusk Till Dawn.
Yeah,
just the penis one.
That's a I'm sure. If that was a choice on the table, I'm sure everyone would have that one.
100%. That would be my secondary carry.
Yeah,
all the time.
At all times. But then, I'll be worried about like a mishap somehow. I'm sure that I do. As soon as I had a lightsaber, I'd probably end up severing off my own arm or like forget it.
100%.
And trying to get like some ham at my teeth or something and be like,
oh yeah. Just trying to like get it just right.
Stay really still.
Trying to shave.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What could go wrong?
Nice. Nothing. It'd be perfectly fine. Well, thank you very much for coming on. It's been wonderful.
My pleasure, Steve. Appreciate you.
This has been a Lovable Rogue Productions podcast. Thank you to everyone that listened. If you want to help out your life in film, then download it, like it, share it, and give the pod a follow. I didn't realise till starting this that a download is the way they measure success and not just a listen. So, listening means nothing. Make sure you check out my guests on their socials, which will be in the description of the episode. Take a look at my letterboxd. I've made a list of all the films that have been mentioned on the pod. There's fucking hundreds. So you can find some good films there. There are some good ones. There's some fucking weird ones, and I love them. Quick shout out to some of the podcasts I'm listening to. Caliber 9 from Outer Space. That's Rob and Joe's. That's really good. And then The Villain Was Right. That's a great fun. Check that out. If you really want to be a mensch, give me that money. There's a link in the description. It'll explain it all. But a download and a share is excellent, and I actually appreciate that a lot more than you'd think. We currently have no sponsors, but I am open to them. I'll shill anything. I don't care. This has been a Lovable Rogue production. Thank you for listening.